Sir Ice King, I would like to ask, how high is this reward? Can I choose it at will? Lin Hao wanted to ask clearly to avoid any mistakes. In front of ordinary people, you can just smile and say you misunderstood, but in front of a big shot like the Binglin Emperor, it's like seeking death. Nan Wenzu said, even if you want ancient legendary equipment with no level restrictions, I can give you a list to choose from. Damn it, ancient legendary equipment with no level restrictions? It turns out that the military has such awesome equipment, and it can also be used as a reward. Then, after some conversion, the reward should be achievable. I hope Lord Ice King can help my sister get the last skill she needs. Lin Hao believes that this requirement should not be higher than that of ancient legendary equipment with no level restrictions. Oh, you mean, let me give the reward to your sister? Nan Wenzu confirmed to Lin Hao that she didn't want to reward herself, but gave it to her sister? Lin Yarong pulled Lin Hao aside and whispered. Don't make trouble, choose what you need. My sister will get the last skill sooner or later. Sister, it's hard to say about probability. It's not like you don't know how lucky our siblings have been over the years. If we get unlucky and can't get it back in a few years, what will we do? Do you still want to upgrade? If you can't brush it out, you have to keep brushing it. Then let the Ice King help me. If you can help my sister master the skill she needs, you will definitely be able to master the last skill. But, no buts. Ba bang bang. Nan Wenzu clapped her hands to interrupt the two siblings, and said, okay, since the younger brother is so caring, you, the older sister, should accept his kindness. Lin Yarong, you are always SSR a level of superhuman, your brother is a student at a liberal arts college, and you two have taken different paths. In my opinion, your brother's choice is the best plan. Sister, the Ice King has said so, so don't push it. It just so happens that the Ice King will help you master the remaining two skills at once, saving you a lot of trouble. Only in this year's college league can you have the best performance. Lin Hao held Lin Yarong's hand and did not allow her to refuse. Nan Wenzu didn't wait for Lin Yarong's response and said directly, that's it. Lin Hao, your sacrifice for your sister will not be in vain. I will reward you 2,000 university points privately, and you will receive it after enrollment. I'm going, it's a meeting. Lin Yarong's guard will take you back to the villa tonight. During this time, Lin Hao, you can have fun in the imperial capital. After saying that, Nan Wenzu stood up and left. The high-level meeting she held in front of her was ready, and most of the high-level officials were already present. A military registrar found Lin Hao and registered victim information for him, while recording a confession. Then the medical staff at the scene gave Lin Hao a preliminary physical check and made sure he had no injuries or other problems before leaving. It was almost sunset when everything was done. After being made trouble like this, Lin Hao and Lin Yarong were no longer in the mood to go shopping. But Ganfan is still in the mood. I only took a couple of sips of the milk tea that I passed along in front of me, and then I dropped it. I went to another super shopping mall and there was milk tea as well. This time I had 2 cups per person and went to a hot pot restaurant to eat hot pot. The two opened a small room, and the table for 8 people was filled with high-end ingredients. Spicy, 3 delicacies, plus a clear soup, 4 big pot bottoms. The siblings are going to go on a killing spree tonight and eat to their heart's content. As for the problem of chrysanthemum pain tomorrow, we will talk about it tomorrow. Night, a certain highway on the outskirts of the imperial capital. More than 30 heavily armored vehicles departed from the imperial capital and headed for Shiatai, the largest prison for superpowers in the UED alliance. It is said that Shiatai has 18 floors and is heavily guarded inside. Even if an organized army of superpowers launches an all-out attack, it cannot break through. All those imprisoned inside are felons with special powers. Once you get in, you can never get out again. Because those who can be imprisoned in Shiatai are all death row prisoners. Escorted by more than 30 heavy armored vehicles, it was none other than the man in a dress mask and one of the 4 heavenly kings of EOD, Shi Kui Jilan. He still kept his body completely frozen, with only his complete head exposed. The mask has been taken off, but behind the mask is a face covered in scars whose appearance is completely unclear. On the highway, a heavy fog suddenly appeared. The driver of the leading car immediately informed the entire convoy. Attention to all units, there is a sudden heavy fog in front, and the visibility is less than 10 meters. I repeat, there is a sudden heavy fog in front, and the visibility is insufficient, 10 meters. The captain of the motorcade immediately picked up the intercom and ordered, all units immediately start emergency registration. AI drives at a constant speed to keep distance between vehicles, turns on powerful fog lights, and notifies Sha Tai people to come and respond. Soon, every vehicle in the entire convoy moved into action, and the powerful fog lights were turned on, illuminating the entire convoy 360 degrees. AI takes over driving, and each vehicle maintains a speed of 60 per hour and closely follows the vehicle in front. Captain, the signal is blocked and we can't contact Sha Tai. Captain, powerful fog lights cannot penetrate the heavy fog, and the visibility is always maintained at 10 meters. The report from his subordinates made the captain feel bad. Fortunately, this escort was equipped with high destruction and high defense force weapons and equipment. Even if the SSR came to rob them, they would still be able to deal with it. What's more, there are also high-level superpowers stationed in the convoy. Send an attack signal flare and notify the vehicle holding the key criminal at the same time. Once attacked, shoot the key criminal as soon as possible. The captain made a prompt decision, and all team members began to execute the order, and red attack flares were fired into the sky. The signal flare had just taken off, and before it exploded, a huge figure in the sky quickly passed by and swallowed the signal flare directly. Boom! The flare exploded in the huge monster's throat, lit up a little red light, and then disappeared. The captain saw the situation in the sky from the monitor and immediately judged that it was EOD people who came to hijack the car. Continue to fire the flares and fire them from all vehicles. Notify the detention vehicles and be ready to kill the key criminals at any time. With an order, signal flares were fired from the tops of 30 armored vehicles at the same time. This time, they were not fired just overhead, but in all directions, making it difficult to intercept. At the same time, for the team members in the vehicle where the key criminal was imprisoned, the safety of the special force gun was opened, the energy was instantly replenished, and 3 guns were pressed against Shifuki's head. As long as there is any sign of trouble, shoot immediately. Even if the EOD is successfully robbed, it will only take away a corpse with a headshot. The monster in the sky flapped its wings, creating a huge airflow that disrupted the trajectory of all the flares that took off. Black hole, 0-degree blizzard. There is a figure on the monster's back, which is releasing a large-scale skill at this time, sucking all the signal bombs at once, and then the monster swallows all the signal bombs in one gulp. Raging storm, in the heavy fog, someone used wind skills. 2 tornadoes appeared on both sides of the convoy, and then collided with the vehicle where the criminal was detained. They instantly picked up the vehicle. Then the 2 tornadoes merged and rolled up the entire vehicle. Stop and engage. The captain of the convoy ordered all vehicles to stop instantly, and then the escorts on the vehicles immediately got out of the car to attack. However, the visibility in the heavy fog was too low, and the enemy could not be seen at all. Everyone could only use skills to bombard them and shoot randomly with force weapons. Boom! In the distance, the vehicle swept away by the tornado fell heavily to the ground. Everyone inside had fainted, and Shi Kui Jilan had also had his head shot. In the heavy fog, several figures appeared, one of which stepped forward to reveal his true body. He was wearing a formal dress and a mask with no facial features, which was exactly the same as Shi Kui Jilan's outfit. He opened the car door, stepped forward and put his hand on Shi Kui Jilan's blossoming head. I saw Zaifuki Jilan's entire body turned into some kind of liquid, and all of it was sucked into the body by the man. In the past few days, Lin Yarong received help from the Binglan Emperor to brush up her skills, while Lin Hao stayed in the hotel alone. After shopping around for a few days, Lin Hao felt that it was not as practical as surfing the internet. All the netizens speak nicely and deceive and look good, they are all talented people. One thing everyone is discussing recently is the bombing attacks that have occurred in major cities across the alliance. Starting from the Tiananmen Square bombing in the imperial capital, so far, there have been 32 attacks in 19 cities. According to current statistics, a total of more than 3,000 people are missing, and no one cares about the dead or injured. Because among the missing people, 95% are people with superpowers and only 5% are ordinary people. An informed netizen revealed that these missing superpowers have many things in common, but the most important thing is that they are all dark element superpowers. Some people have dual attributes or 3 attributes, and some even have hidden dark elements. There is a rumor that the genes of people who have awakened to the dark element are actually contaminated by the old ones. This rumor has not been confirmed by any means, and the official media even said it was a rumor. But the strange thing is that half of the members of EOD have awakened the dark element. This is also a rumor on the internet. The person who posted this rumor swears that it is true because he is an insider. But people from the Supernatural Police Patrol came to find him, hoping that he would tell the government all the information he knew. As a result, The guy confessed that he just said it randomly to gain attention and traffic. The entire alliance is now very angry about these attacks, and there has been a whirlwind of purges. From top to bottom, a large number of government officials have been investigated and screened. Look, there are so many good things on the internet, isn't it better than going out for shopping? Shopping alone to visit tourist attractions is very boring. As a victim of the imperial capital attack, Lin Hao was very interested in these things. While surfing the internet, Lin Hao was looking at the suspended motorcycle. Recently, several new models have been released, which are specially designed for users with special abilities. They have powerful performance and cool styles. According to the parameters currently released on the internet, they can be used for 100,000 kilometers on a single charge. The normal load capacity reaches 1 ton, and the flight altitude is the highest on flat ground. It can reach 30 meters and the maximum speed can reach 800 kilometers per hour. Cool is very cool, but the price is very unfriendly, 130 million yuan per unit. However, at the recent Didu Auto Show, if you purchase 2 or more on-site, you will receive a 9.5% discount. Is this 0.50 that I owe you? You have to buy it. Sister and I will fight each other? With 1.5 billion in cash on hand, Lin Hao has the confidence to book on the official website immediately. Pick up the car in 2 days. Pick up the car on site at the auto show. After using the internet for a day, Lin Hao felt that he was almost done and it was time to go out for a walk tomorrow. On the table, the invitation card for the auction lay quietly there, with the names of the 2 siblings written on it. I wonder if I can go to the auction together tomorrow. My sister went to the military research base with the Binglan Emperor a few days ago. She couldn't come out until she mastered the 2 required skills. If you can't come out, you can't come out. Anyway, our siblings are just here to see the world at this auction. Second night Lin Hao waited for a day, but the old lady didn't reply to the message. It seemed that she couldn't come out. Put on the new suit you bought during the day, put on the bow, go downstairs, and then go to the auction center across the street. That's right, the hotel Lin Hao stayed in was the hotel run by the auction house itself. Although there were attacks in the imperial capital a few days ago, the auction was still held as scheduled. The quality of the auction items this time was very high, even the corpse of the Styx doll was only the 5th to last appearance. For every invitation card, the seats have already been arranged. Lin Hao and Lin Yarong's seats are in the middle and front of the hall. The hall is very large, it can accommodate at least 1,000 people, and it is decorated with splendor and splendor. There is no elegance, but a tacky, money-like tackiness. After entering the venue, Lin Hao found his seat and sat down. There were some children from wealthy families, businessmen, entrepreneurs, etc. nearby. In addition, there were high-level superpower guards hired by the auction house sitting in civilian clothes, in the hall. Those aristocratic families are all in the VVIP room upstairs. On each seat, there is a list of tonight's auction items. Use a light brain to scan the 5-dimensional code on it, and you can see the basic information and 3-dimensional pictures of those auction items. People around were discussing with their lists. They wanted this thing so much, and that thing they wanted so much. How much this thing might fetch at auction, and how much that thing would probably fetch at auction. Lin Hao shook his head gently. If you are sitting in the lobby, it means that you are just an audience invited to enhance your popularity and atmosphere. Or you may have a lot of money at home, but compared to the protagonists in the VVIP room upstairs, everyone there just nameless passers-by, A, B, C and D. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Coltex Auction Center. The beautiful auctioneer in a cheongsam appeared next to the auction table at some unknown time. Today, I am honored to host this unique auction. I am the auctioneer of Coltex Auction Center, Sun Xiaonuan. I hope to bring a perfect experience to every guest here. Xiao Nuan is just an ordinary auctioneer, so he won't spend an hour or two saying a few words. Now, let's start tonight's auction right away. Please give me the first auction item tonight. After the auctioneer appeared, he spoke concisely and started the auction directly. In the past, some people from aristocratic families would always be half an hour late to show their importance. In a word, they were acting like a big name. In addition, there were some high-ranking officials drinking champagne and bragging in the VIP room, but they took a long time to enter the room. It was already more than 40 minutes beyond the opening time, so the auctioneer started the bidding immediately as soon as he came up, without any nonsense. 2 beautiful girls, wearing modified cheongsams from the series of off-shoulder and backless miniskirts, slowly pushed out a movable display cabinet. Inside the glass cover above, there was a white snowball-like jewelry suspended, which was probably larger than the average person. The palm of your hand is bigger. Wow, so beautiful, In the audience, countless young ladies were amazed that the snow-white orb was so beautiful. Lin Hao looked at the list. This was the first auction item, called the Mirror Light Magic Bead. After scanning, the information displayed by the optical brain is only one paragraph. This sphere contains terrible malice. It was summoned from the realm of death, and has always been eager to send others back to the realm of death as victims. Only those with an extremely determined mind can control it. However, once someone can control its power, it will become a loyal servant and act completely according to the master's will. The name of the signee is Deckard Cain. Damn it, according to the above introduction, isn't this a magic ball specially made for the undead? But the information released is just this paragraph. I have no idea what special effects this thing has. Can it absorb the dead souls and store them? Or can a large number of essences be concentrated and condensed into one large essence? Lin Hao now particularly wants to know what the use of this magic ball is. If it is really the magic ball of the undead profession, as the first auction item, it should not be very expensive or can be obtained. Dear beautiful ladies and handsome gentlemen, are you worried? When you first awakened your superpower, the first skill that was awakened along with it had a low level and low damage. You cannot use the forgetting scroll to forget it. You will only be able to forget it for the rest of your life. Can you choose not to see it? Sun Xiaonuan took the microphone and asked loudly. Many people in the audience were talking about it. The first skills to be awakened were all relatively useless skills, and they could not be forgotten using the forgetting scroll. This was indeed a very unpleasant thing. Among his superpowers, the first skill for many of us is magic missiles. No matter what attribute of the superpower you awaken, you can launch magic missiles of the corresponding attribute. The damage is astonishingly low. Even if we practice it at the full level, even if we equip a powerful weapon, it is still difficult to increase its damage, and even any rubbish mid-level skill will do twice as much damage. Sun Xiaonuan said sadly, and many people below felt the same way. Next, Sun Xiaonuan's voice changed. Today, Xiaonuan brings you a piece of good news, which is this magic ball that is more dazzling than a work of art. The Mirror Light Magic Bead. It is an ancient legendary equipment, has extremely powerful attributes. But this is not the point. The point is its legendary special effects. The person holding the magic bead, his magic missile will fire 2 additional missiles, and the damage caused will be increased by 500%. What does this mean? This means that your initial skill, the skill that has been following you since your awakening, the first skill that will never leave you, can increase its damage by a full 5 times. Moreover, after testing by our professionals, the legendary special effects of the Mirror Light Magic Orb can be perfectly stacked with any equipment or legendary special effects that increase the damage of supernatural attributes. As long as we configure it a little, our magic missiles can hit 8 times or 9 times. Even 10 times the damage. Sun Xiaonuan said excitedly, and the people in the audience were in an uproar. After hearing this, Lin Hao felt bad. In your introduction, it is clearly written that this magic ball contains terrible malice. It is clearly written that it was summoned from the realm of death. Now tell me, its legendary special effects are enhanced magic missiles? Generally, the introducer of signed equipment is usually the maker who forged and carved the runes. Is this introduction written randomly? Lin Hao picked up the invitation letter and read it carefully to make sure that he had really entered the most famous Cultex auction house and not an underground fraud den. Headache, it's really an invitation from Cultex. I originally wanted to bid for the first auction item, but now I have no interest at all. When every superpower awakens a superpower, a skill will be awakened along with it. For a considerable number of people, when they awaken the natural elemental attributes such as wind, fire, water, and earth, the first skill that is associated with them is magic missiles. If your ability is water, then your magic missile will launch a small water ball. If your ability is fire, then your magic missile will launch a small fireball. Even if you spend money to upgrade it to level 10, it will only fire small fireballs with a higher temperature, which is very useful for making fires during outdoor barbecues. Xiao Nuan, this Mirror Light Magic Bead is so powerful, it must be an ancient legendary equipment above level 70, right? A young lady asked. This beautiful lady asked a very good question. This Mirror Light Magic Bead is a level 71 ancient legendary deputy equipment. Sun Xiaonuan answered the question immediately. It's level 71, so I can't use it. Level 71 is a bit high. Why'd I need to use this ball if I have level 71? The audience began to discuss that at such a high level, only magic missiles were strengthened. Sun Xiaonuan snapped her fingers, and a beautiful girl who had just pushed the mobile showcase stood next to her. This etiquette lady's name is Dongmai. She is only level 31. Sun Xiaonuan motioned to Dongmai to display her level information on the big screen with a light brain so that everyone could see it clearly. Now, please Dongmai, please demonstrate the effect of the mirror light magic bead for us, Sun Xiaonuan announced. Hey, it's funny, isn't it? How can a level 31 girl use level 71 equipment? Someone wondered loudly, and almost everyone agreed. However, Dongmai ignored what the people below said, walked to the mobile display cabinet, carefully opened the glass cover, then reached out to hold the mirror light magic bead in her hand and took it out. On the stage, someone has already pushed out a huge 30 centimeters thick refined steel plate, and a high-level superpower user has set up a barrier to ensure that the energy impact will not spill into the audience for a while. I saw Dongmai holding the mirror light magic bead in her left hand, and without any energy stored in her right hand, she directly threw out a flame magic missile. The moment Dongmai's flame magic missile left her hand, the flame magic missile split into three, and then flew straight towards the huge refined steel plate. Boom, boom, boom. Three loud noises in succession scared the ladies at the front of the audience to jump. As the smoke was removed by the exhaust fan, everyone could clearly see that three large holes had been blasted through the huge 30 centimeters thick refined steel plate. The diameter of the hole was at least half a meter. The steel surrounding the hole seemed to have melted instantly due to the high temperature, and liquid metal juice flowed down. Everyone in the audience fell silent. At this time, Sun Xiaonuan spoke. I'm sorry, Xiaonuan just forgot to mention that there is a more important point about the mirror light magic bead, which is that one of its rune attributes is the level requirement is reduced by 40 levels. In other words, you only need to be level 31 to use this ancient legendary equipment. It brings you 800 points of wisdom attribute. The damage it does to elite enemies is increased by 5%, and it consumes all your energy reducing it by 8%. It increases your critical hit chance by 8%. What other reasons do you have for not being tempted? Mirror light magic bead, the starting price is 100 million, and the bidder will increase the price by no less than 20 million each time. Start bidding now. As soon as he finished speaking, someone in the audience immediately raised a sign, 120 million. Are you kidding me? 180 million, I am determined to win 250 million. Everyone in the hall was in high spirits, especially the young ladies, who were very excited. Lin Hao watched from the audience and had to say that the effect and atmosphere were very good. Although Lin Hao doesn't have magic missiles himself, he is very aware of the damage caused by that thing. A random search on the internet will reveal a lot of videos that make complaints about it. Normally, a level 31 fire magic missile that does not penetrate equipment would have difficulty even leaving traces of damage on a 30 centimeters refined steel plate, let alone punching through a half-meter diameter hole. But the etiquette lady just now, without wearing any other equipment, just held the mirror light magic bead and dealt 4/50ths damage with intermediate commonly used skills. The most terrifying thing is that the consumption of magic missiles is 1/20th of the commonly used skills at level 4/50ths, and it can also be split into 3 magic missiles of equal damage. One skill thrown is equal to 3 times thrown by others. Wear a piece of equipment that enhances your own attribute damage, and the small fireball turns into a huge fire and is extinguished in minutes. For mages who take the consumption-based continuous output route, this thing is an artifact. If it weren't for the fact that he didn't have the skill of magic missile, Lin Hao would have wanted to bid. Hey, wait a minute, among the 4 skills that accompany me, is Death Coil considered a magic missile in a certain sense? There doesn't seem to be anything wrong with firing missiles with the power of death. Lin Hao really wanted to try it out to see if Death Coil was considered some kind of magic missile, and whether he could enjoy the 500% bonus effect. If you can, that would be cool. However, there is currently no way to upgrade Death Coil, and the damage remains at the original 200 points. Don't underestimate these 200 points of damage. Lin Hao originally thought that the damage would be caused after deducting defense. However, after countless experiments, he found that as long as it deals with non-undead creatures, Death Coil causes real damage. Unfortunately, 200 points of damage is too low. If someone else just eats your Death Coil, the 200 points of blood deducted will be recovered without even taking 1 second. For example, Lin Yarong, with full equipment, recovers 5,000 blood per second in battle, and the little blood lost by Death Coil is not even enough to scratch the itch. Hey, forget it, finding a way to upgrade Death Coil is more practical than auctioning magic beads. Even if the magic bead is taken, the 500% bonus will only deal 1,000 points of damage, which is useless. Might as well draw a 1.08 billion is there any higher price than 1.08 billion? Sun Xiaonuan worked hard to create an atmosphere on the stage. 1.1 billion. A young man held up a sign and quoted a price, obviously bidding for the beauty sitting next to him. Spend 1.1 billion to bid on this thing just to pick up girls? Lin Hao felt contempt in his heart. Idiot. 1.15 billion. Someone immediately quoted a new price, pushing down the price of fresh meat. 1.2 billion. Xiao Xianru continued to raise the sign, and the beauty next to him had already taken the initiative to hold his arm and looked at him lovingly. 1.25 billion. Another bid was made without pause at all. 1.3 billion. Xiao Xianru raised her sign again, and the beauty next to her had a springy look on her face. 1.3 billion. Is there anyone with a price higher than 1.3 billion? Sun Xiaonuan continued to ask. 2 billion. Someone from the VVIP upstairs started to quote, and they added 700 million as soon as they started. Xiao Xianru looked up angrily, then looked away helplessly, patting the back of the hand of the beauty next to him and saying something, as if he was apologizing. The beauty next to him did not blame him, but acted more affectionately. Lin Hao saw this and thought, damn it. Did this guy predict the price that the big guys upstairs would pay? Now I have won her heart without spending a dime. Looking at the current price, it has already reached 2 billion. Fortunately, I have no plans to win, otherwise the money on hand will not be enough. I originally thought that with 1.5 billion in hand, I would be able to take a photo of something I like. It's only the first auction item now, and it's already beyond my ability. Soon, all the bidding in the hall stopped and turned into a competition among the VVIPs upstairs. However, this magic bead did not cause much trouble. It was just that the three aristocratic families fought for it for 3 rounds and it ended with the transaction price of 3.5 billion, and it was purchased by the Yin family. Xiao Nuan felt everyone's enthusiasm, and the first auction item sold for a high price of 3.5 billion. Ladies who did not win the magic beads of their choice, don't be discouraged, because the next auction item will definitely make people happy. Your heart is moved. After the mirror light magic pearl was delivered, Sun Xiaonuan immediately asked someone to launch the second auction item. That's a nice bracer. Lin Hao looked at the list again and saw the name of the second lot, Ashnaga's bloody wrist. The introduction displayed after the optical brain scan. Demon blood is a very important material for magicians to make magic weapons. In fact, I have poured this kind of power into this pair of wristbands. Of course, the whole extraction process will be very difficult for demons. Painful. Just thinking about this makes me happy. The signee is Ashnaga, the chief magician who cursed his disciples. The introduction of this piece of equipment is a bit believable. It explains the main material used in making it, demon blood, and then the maker also described the mood of making the equipment, which shows that he is very satisfied with his masterpiece. Sun Xiaonuan continued to introduce this Ashnaga blood wrist in the same way as before. Lin Hao also listened attentively, but felt that it was a pity. This wristband was an ancient legendary equipment that was lowered by 12 levels, but it also requires level 60 before it can be used. The attributes are not very high either. Sun Xiaonuan put the attributes on the big screen this time. Ashnaga's bloody wrist, quality, ancient legend. Level, 72 armor, 220 strength plus 350 physical fitness plus 350. Plus 1128 points of life regeneration per second plus 100 points of physical resistance. Level requirement reduced. Level 12 legendary effect. Increases the effectiveness of all your shields by 100%. This piece of equipment is very practical. Whether it is the mage route, the warrior route, or even the assassin route, including long-range archers, melee assassins, etc., it is very practical. When all superpowers learn combat skills in school, they will be taught one sentence. Only when you are alive can you have output. Everyone will learn shield skills that match their attributes, such as wind shield, ice armor, fire shield, light armor, etc. No matter what shield skill, it has an upper limit for absorbing damage or resisting damage. This upper limit is called shield effectiveness. Lin Hao looked at the skill bar. The effectiveness of his shield skill bone armor is to increase the armor by 400 and absorb 30% of the damage. Lin Hao made preliminary calculations. If he puts on Ashnaga's blood wrist, the armor of the bone armor will become 800, and the damage absorbed will become 60%. Combined with the 50% damage reduction of steel skin, plus on the unity ring, the servants and dependents share 50% of the damage, and your total damage reduction will reach 90%. There is an upper limit for absorbing damage. If the damage exceeds the upper limit, the shield will be broken. No matter which route you take, what does it mean if the shield is broken in battle? So, what does it mean to increase shield effectiveness by 100%? Lin Hao could only shout in his heart, "Damn it, such awesome equipment can be used at level 60. No need to think about it, the people sitting in the hall don't even have the courage to hold up their cards. The starting price is 500 million, and each bid increase shall not be less than 20 million. The first bid for VVIP room number 1 upstairs was 2 billion. However, the price of VVIP room number 2 was immediately increased by 1 billion to 3 billion. Then the VVIP house price on the third was quoted at 3.5 billion. After only 3 bids, the price was already equal to the first one, the mirror light magic bead. Sun Xiaonuan shouted excitedly, 3.5 billion, is there any higher price than 3.5 billion? 5 billion. The price of room number 5 was suddenly increased by 1.5 billion. Lin Hao also wanted this wristband very much, but unfortunately, he couldn't participate in this at all. Think about other people's protagonists, who pretend to be pigs and eat tigers at auctions, and get all the good things in their pockets, without even having to pay for it themselves, while some wealthy people are vying to fawn over and pay for it. Lin Hao also really wanted someone to curry favor with him and compete to pay for him. But I can only dream about it while sleeping. Lin Hao was distracted for only a few seconds, but the price had already reached 10 billion. Damn it, Lin Hao cursed, those upstairs, did all your money come from the strong wind? In the end, Ashnaga's bloody wrist was photographed by the Majas family for 15.5 billion. Lin Hao finally understood why the decoration here was not centered on elegance, but as tacky as possible, and everything was about money. At this kind of auction, I am completely a spectator, watching how other aristocratic families equip themselves. In the VVIP room number 3, when James Majas was bidding for Ashnaga's bloody wrist, he walked to the stands, lifted the curtains of the stands, and raised his hands to apologize to the people in the surrounding VVIP rooms. A large number of young ladies and ladies in the audience discussed, "Wow, that is the eldest son of this generation of the Majas family. He is so handsome. It would be great if I could be his girlfriend." Lin Hao also looked up to see what kind of noble young master he was, causing all the women around him to become infatuated. She has beautiful long white hair, a red classical aristocratic dress, and a mask on her face that just covers her eyes, but it still cannot hide her deep and sharp gaze. Her tall and straight figure gives people a mysterious, calm, and a feeling of confidence, majesty and power. How do you women know he is so handsome when you can't even see it? Although he felt very unhappy, Lin Hao had to admit that this guy was a super winner in life. Have money, background, appearance, and strength. If it weren't for some mistake, one fat and one thin opened the great secret realm by mistake, and he passed the level and blamed it on Li Yunqi, Jigu Si would most likely become the top pick in the league with his own strength. Jigus turned a blind eye to the large number of ladies in the audience who were ogling him and expressing their love. He said to Sun Xiaonuan in a low and magnetic voice, "Miss Auctioneer, please continue the auction and don't let me hold you back, it's a waste of everyone's precious time." After saying that, he went back to the room and disappeared from everyone's sight. Sun Xiaonuan reacted immediately, picked up the microphone and said, "I am very worried that after the auction is over, all the ladies and ladies will squat on me at the back door and want to beat me up, because the handsome Lord Jigus he actually talked to me in person." The ladies in the audience stared angrily. Sun Xiaonuan immediately changed the topic. Ashnaga's blood wrist is a great defensive weapon. It can make Lord Jigus more durable and durable. Are you gentlemen very dissatisfied? Is it true that this world only has shields, not shields, spear? The answer is yes. Now please give me the third auction item tonight, the executioner. After the words fell, 2 big men came out, one behind the other, carrying a weapon rack. On the weapon rack was a large double-edged axe. Lin Hao routinely scans the list and reads the introduction. There is only one sentence to introduce this double-edged axe. The blade is stained with the blood of countless dead. It's not signed, so I don't know who made it. Sun Xiaonuan displayed the attribute information of the double-edged axe on the big screen. Open black lens bracket executioner, close black lens bracket type, two-handed axe quality, ancient legend. Requirements: level 70 attack power, 3820 approximately 4195. Strength plus 1465 damage dealt to elite enemies increased by 10%. Plus 30408 click to restore life has a chance to cause 24% area damage on hit. 39% chance to cause bleed effect for 5 seconds, causing 400% weapon damage. Legendary special effect. Attack will destroy enemies with less than 10% health. This weapon is simply made for berserkers. According to Sun Xiaonuan's introduction, when the executioner's health is 10% of the kill line, it completely ignores any shields and any damage reduction or injury avoiding skills. As long as your health is below 10%, if you are slightly scratched by it, you will die on the spot. Many people don't believe it. Sun Xiaonuan asked someone to pull out a monster locked in a cage. It was already in a critical state, and its health value was just maintained at 10%. This is a huge triceratops, which looks a bit like the ancient triceratops. It is famous for its rough skin and thick flesh. Its 10% health is even longer than the full health of many monsters. Then, a level 70 warrior, holding an axe in both hands, just stepped forward and lightly scratched the monster in the cage without using any skills or any other equipment. The triangle's eyes immediately widened, like a soul. It was as if his energy and blood had been drained away instantly. He didn't even have a chance to twitch, and he immediately fell down and died. When he died, his eyes were still staring, as if something incredible had happened. The large screen clearly displayed the entire process, and everyone felt the power of this two-handed axe. Lin Hao sighed. If this axe was in his hand, it would be really powerful. All of your servants and dependents can inherit the damage-increasing legendary special effects brought by the equipment you wear. But if you think about it carefully, the legendary special effects of this piece of equipment can only be more effective when the unparalleled mowing is used. Especially in war, it is a sharp weapon for harvesting minions. If both sides are equally powerful, it is difficult for this legendary special effect to be used. Moreover, the two-handed axe that can only be used at level 70 is almost exclusively used by berserkers, violent tanks, and perverted melee mages. The rest of the normal mages, archers, assassins, light weapon warriors, etc. cannot be used at all. Therefore, Lin Hao believes that this weapon will definitely not sell for a high price. The starting price of the executioner is 100 million, and each bid is no less than 20 million. This time, the VVIPs upstairs did not take action because they looked down upon this piece of equipment. So this time it's the audience in the hall who are competing. After 79 rounds of bidding, the executioner was finally purchased by a bald man for 1.3 billion. Whether it's the wild style of the weapons or the rough body shape of the bald guy, Lin Hao thinks they match well. He deserved the title of executioner. Lin Hao had no interest in watching the next auction and almost dozed off. 3 pieces of equipment in a row, the worst of which was the executioner, were sold for a high price of 1.3 billion. This was something that he could not participate in. No wonder Mr. Wong from the auction house said when he sent the invitation card, he invited you two to watch the auction, rather than inviting you to participate in the auction. There is no one I can participate in the whole process. There is no need to do things like holding up signs to call out prices and helping to raise prices by yourself. Can't you see the many high-level superpowers scattered in the hall? In addition to being the escorts and bodyguards hired by the auction center, they also take on the task of adding to the atmosphere and raising prices. Even in the VVIP room, there is one room where Cultex has arranged its own people to deal with those VVIPs. In general, there is support in the lobby below, and there is support in the VVIP above. If I had known earlier, I would not have come, and my sister is not here, so I occupied 2 positions by myself. In the eyes of others, I am being let off the plane by my female companion. It's so nice to sleep in a hotel, why not just go back to sleep? At this time, a call came in. It was from my sister, and Lin Hao quickly answered it. Hello, sister, are you done over there? Well, it's done. I've mastered the last 2 skills I need. Great. Sister, are you out now? Yes, Lord Ice King's guards sent me back. I am now at the entrance of Cultex Auction Center. They said I don't have an invitation card and are not allowed in. I'm coming out now, sister, please wait a moment. Lin Hao hung up the phone and walked out to pick up his sister at the door. Sister, here. Lin Hao rushed to the gate of the auction center and saw Lin Yarong being blocked outside from a distance. Sorry, this is our invitation. He immediately took out the invitation letter and gave it to the guard. The guard checked the identity information and handed the invitation letter back to Lin Hao. Please don't get me wrong, Miss Lin. It's our responsibility. No one without an invitation letter can enter. The doorman said politely, you're just doing your job. After saying that, he held Lin Hao's hand and entered the venue together. Lin Yarong returned to the hotel about an hour ago, freshened up and changed into clothes, and only came out now. Lin Hao said, "Sister, you were too busy with your actions. It took you an hour to change your clothes." Lin Yarong hit Lin Hao on the head with a bang and said, "I'm already pretty quick. Normally, in this kind of situation, a lady won't go out for less than 3 hours. You don't know how boring it is. It's all those VVIPs performing. We can only watch, without any participation." Lin Hao covered his head and complained, "Come on, they just asked us to come and visit to see how much our stuff can sell for, and we just help them gather the number of people. As an audience member, passerby see, what kind of participation do you want? I'm going to be the protagonist for you. You have that much power? How much is it?" Lin Yarong scolded Lin Hao, "Don't you know what's going on with our siblings? We are just here to see how much our stuff can be sold for." Lin Hao took his sister back to his seat. The people next to him thought he had left and took Lin Hao and Lin Yarong's seats to put their bags. Lin Yarong just glanced at the person next to her, with an aura as if she wanted to eat someone. The person next to her immediately took her bag away, but she was still talking about how beautiful she was. She came so late, and she didn't know who she had just spent time with. The boss just came. Although the voice was small, Lin Hao heard it and sullenly wanted to kill this rude woman. Lin Yarong suppressed Lin Hao with one look. "This is at the auction center, so it's not the time to take action." Lin Yarong didn't say this sentence, it was just the meaning expressed in her eyes, and Lin Hao could naturally understand it. After sitting down, Lin Yarong picked up the auction list and looked at it. The 4th item has been auctioned, and our Styx doll is the 6th item. Lin Hao probably told Lin Yarong about the things that had been auctioned earlier. Lin Yarong said, "Those are not what we need now, or can use, so if there is no participation, there will be nothing. I don't understand why you want to buy this garbage so much." "Ah, that wrist guard is not rubbish, right? I feel it's quite powerful," Lin Hao said. "It's very impressive, but look how much we paid for it. If it weren't for the Magus family, I'm afraid it would have cost 20 billion. Besides, even if we had the money to buy that thing, I'm afraid it would be sold to someone else tonight. Take it away," Lin Yarong said. "No way, this is the imperial capital, who dares to take action?" Lin Hao felt that the elder sister was talking nonsense. There are no fewer cameras in the imperial capital than where he was in his previous life. In addition, he was attacked just a few days ago, so patrols and security are particularly tight now. "Why don't you dare? Didn't you say you were interested in the mirror light magic bead? I will take you to grab it tonight," Lin Yarong said it easily. "Sister, that thing was bought by the Yin family. The Yin family is one of the top 10 aristocratic families. Their guards start at level 60 at least." Lin Hao thought to himself, what on earth did his sister learn in school? "Oh, in Jia? Then I'll come and challenge in Jiji and ask him to take out the magic beads as a bet," Lin Yarong said with confidence. "Sister, I feel like you're floating." Lin Hao felt that my sister had become so exaggerated tonight and was not stable at all. Really, maybe it's because I mastered the last 2 required skills, and then I was a bit coquettish, promising to lead a team to the Mediterranean coast of the Middle East to open up an exploration route for the 2 river basins. Lord Ice King sponsored me to create advanced creative fruits. In addition to those sent by the High Priest, I have already eaten enough of the high-level creation fruits. Lin Yarong sounded light and airy, but Lin Hao sounded a bit fantasy. As far as Lin Hao knows, Lin Yarong has eaten all the elementary and intermediate creation fruits, and now she has also eaten all the advanced creation fruits. A full set of required skills are also available. There are just a few pieces of supporting equipment that have not yet been collected. Basically, everything is ready before Lin Yarong reaches level 60. As long as you reach level 60, the Dean of the Third War College has already prepared the materials for promotion. This is something many people dream of. Many martial arts students, when they graduate from their senior year, either do not have enough creative fruits, or they have not yet mastered the skills they need or want, and more often than not, they have not even prepared the materials to advance to level 60. In this case, it will be more difficult to complete these tasks after graduation, and competition for resources in society will become even worse. So slowly, polarization occurs. For people like Lin Yarong, if they serve in the army, they will directly become officers, or at worst, frontline combat commanders. Those who cannot advance to level 60 are just captains of a certain team, and their subordinates are all soldiers around level 40 who graduated from vocational colleges. Even if you don't choose to serve in the army, if you go out into society and work in a guild or group company, the treatment will be very different. Anyway, Lin Hao just felt that my sister was different tonight. She was not only arrogant, but also arrogant. While the 2 siblings were chatting animatedly, the 4th item was auctioned off. The fifth auction item was then launched. It was a replica of a special artifact and had no attributes. Sun Xiaonuan took the microphone and introduced. I believe everyone knows that during the battle to regain the Hexi Corridor 200 years ago, there was an artifact called the microcosm of the universe. Legend has it that the microcosm of the universe can travel through time and space, traveling back and forth between ancient times, the present, and the future. The weapon of a Forgomon, the ruler of the sun. But it is a pity that that artifact was defeated in the Battle of the Hexi Corridor by the old ruler of Forgomon and returned to another space, and the miniature of the universe also disappeared. One of the survivors of that year's battle, the great craftsman Mr. Alan Smith, was fortunate enough to see with his own eyes the runes engraved on the miniature of the universe. Mr. Alan Smith spent his whole life trying to reproduce those complicated runes and create. There are a lot of imitations, the most famous of which is 12 moments. Of course, what we are auctioning tonight is not 12 hours, it is well collected in the museum. What we are auctioning tonight is a prop built by Mr. Alan Smith's students, and it is called a wormhole. The appearance of the wormhole is the same as the miniature of the universe. It is engraved with time and space runes. When activated, it can reverse time and space and travel to and from any point in time within 1 year. Of course, even if you use the wormhole to reverse time and space and go back to the past, you cannot change anything. You are like a ghost, no one in the past can see you, and you cannot touch anything in the past. When the rune energy is consumed, you will return to the present immediately. After Sun Xiaonuan introduced this prop, he finally said, "This imitation wormhole is a one-time consumable. It will lose energy and automatically collapse after use. The starting price is 200 million, and each increase in price shall not be less than 20 million. Start shooting now." As soon as he finished speaking, someone in the hall immediately raised a sign, 1 billion. The whole audience was in an uproar. Would you spend 1 billion to buy a consumable? Are people stupid and have too much money? I heard that wherever this thing is activated, it returns to the past, and the duration is very short, only 1 to 3 minutes before returning to reality. Lin Yarong, like everyone else, was just looking at fools, but after she saw the person holding the sign, a slight murderous intention immediately appeared in her eyes. 1 billion and 20 million. Another person foolishly bids for too much money. 1.1 billion. The person who originally raised the sign raised it again without thinking for a second. 1.12 billion. There was another bid. At this time, even Lin Hao saw that this was obviously a scam. 1.2 billion. The person who originally raised the sign still didn't think about it for half a second and just raised the sign. Sister, what's going on with this guy? It's obvious that he's driving up the price, so why does he have to raise the price? Lin Hao didn't understand. Everyone in the audience could see it, wouldn't that guy know? Lin Yarong said, "If I told you that this person is the Secretary General of the Thorn Gold Guild and Zhang Yang's mother Jin Yunner, what would you think of?" Secretary General of Thorn Gold Guild, Zhang Yang's mother? Lin Hao understood immediately. Zhang Yang's father may have found the location of the accident, but if Zhang Yang's body is not found, further investigation cannot be carried out. Therefore, he wants to use the wormhole to reverse time and space at the place where the accident happened, and go back to the past to find out who the murderer is. Remember it? I guess Zhang Jin has found the last location where his son appeared. According to what you said, Zhang Yang bought the information to attack the Naga water snake. Then Zhang Jin used the person who sold the information to find Zhang Yang and the others to ambush the Naga. The location of the water snake is not difficult. Lin Yarong stopped being arrogant and exaggerated, and became cautious. Lin Hao's eyes narrowed slightly. It was a bad fate. If he had just gone back to the hotel to sleep because he felt too bored, he would have been in Sparta. Just when I was about to leave, the old lady came and saw you buying props to go back in time. Sorry, no matter how tight the patrols in the imperial capital are tonight, I still have to be a robber. As a mother, there is nothing wrong with you wanting to find the real murderer and avenge your son. There is nothing wrong with me killing your son. I can only blame your family for their bad luck. Just as the two siblings were thinking about when to take action tonight, the prop wormhole had been photographed and sold for 1.3 billion. Those entrustments are very sensible and will be accepted as soon as you see fit, and they won't really go too far. It's just that they don't know that even if you push the price to 2 billion, Zhang Yang's mother will buy it. The only thing she wants to take pictures of tonight is this space-time prop, and she has prepared 4 billion for this. After taking the photo of the prop wormhole, Zhang Yang's mother, Jin Yunner, immediately got up and left, went to the backstage to hand over, paid for the props, and left. Naturally, Lin Yarong and Lin Hao would not stay in the auction center any longer. The two siblings looked at each other and exchanged a few words in a low voice. Then Lin Yarong went back to the hotel to change clothes, while Lin Hao went to monitor Jin Yunner. When the two siblings got up to leave, they bumped into the woman who had just broken off the conversation. The woman rolled her eyes and said, "I just sat down and left. I don't know if I was in a hurry to see the next boss." Lin Yarong ignored him completely and left, but Lin Hao couldn't bear it anymore. "You can talk about me, but you can't talk about my sister. Use a photo brain to take a picture of the woman's location number, which will make you look better later." Going to the toilet, Lin Hao walked to the last room, went in, closed the door, and ordered the puppet. The puppet Wang Siki condensed and appeared in front of Lin Hao. Fortunately, each compartment of the toilet here is relatively large, and there is enough space to do some exercise in it. Release 2 larvae and go to the location I designated. Bite that woman and suck her life away. I will make her age 10 years. The puppet Wang Siki received the order and looked at the pictures and information of the optical brain. After identifying them clearly, 2 larvae appeared in the palm of his hand. The larva received the command from the puppet Wang Siki, squirmed on its back, grew wings, and then flew out. With dual vision sharing, Lin Hao could see what the larvae were seeing, and then gave orders to the larva through the puppet Wang Siki. The larva flew out of the toilet, and one of them quickly flew into the hall. The larva, which was smaller than the fingernail of the tail finger, flew in the air without being noticed by anyone, and soon flew to the head of the snarling woman. Bite her, infect her with the virus, and suck away part of her life. Don't kill her, I want her to age 20 years. I scolded my sister twice, one sentence lasted 10 years. The larva fell down, landed on the woman's hair, then burrowed into the scalp, then opened its small mouth and bit into the scalp. The woman suddenly felt a numbness in her scalp, then her eyes went black and she fainted. The other larva flew to the backstage trading office where Kim Yuna went when she left. The trading office is heavily guarded and the door is closed. The larva cannot enter and can only wait above the door. After waiting for about 10 minutes, the door opened, and Jin Yunner came out, holding a delicate box in her hand. There was a female assistant beside her, and behind her were 4 level 60 guards. They were probably from the Thorn Gold Guild. Come on. Protect the Secretary General. Lin Hao estimated that the box Jin Yunner was holding contained a prop wormhole, but why didn't she put it into the storage halo? No matter what, there must be a reason for not putting it in. Go down, hang on that woman, don't attack her, use yourself as a positioning coordinate, and teleport everything you see back. Lin Hao ordered, and the larva immediately became smaller than ordinary ants, fell from the air onto Jin Yunner's hair accessories, and then quickly penetrated from the hair accessories into the hair, clinging to the hair. One of the guards felt something falling when the larva fell, and wanted to reach out to stop it, but did not catch anything. He accidentally used too much force and touched Jin Yunner's hair accessory. What are you doing? Jin Yunner's hair accessory was knocked crooked, and she immediately turned around and shouted. The guard immediately said, Secretary General, I just found something falling on your hair accessories. I wanted to stop it, but I didn't catch anything and accidentally touched you. Kim Yuna handed the box to her assistant, then took off her hair accessories and looked left and right, but there was nothing there. Where is there something? Jin Yunner wanted to get angry and curse. But her anger was suppressed. These 4 guards are all old members of the Thorn Gold Guild. They have always been the right-hand man of their own couple and will not tease them without reason. Maybe you saw it wrong. Don't be too nervous. We will go directly to the airport and return to the Magic City now. Yes, Secretary General. Jin Yunner took the box back from the assistant and continued walking out, leaving the auction center. The guard felt strange. He made sure he didn't feel wrong just now, so he asked the other 3 colleagues around him. I really didn't feel or see anything. Maybe Madam is right, you are too nervous. The colleague said so, and the guard had no choice but to give up. The group of people left the auction center, and a guard went to get the car, then got in the car and drove to the Imperial Capital Airport. Lin Hao immediately called his elder sister. Sister, Jin Yunner is holding a box, an assistant, and 4 guards. Now get in the car and go to the airport. Lin Yarong said directly. You find a way to follow me. I will set off later. We will position each other via optical brain connection and meet at the airport later. Don't even think about attacking her on the way to the airport. After hanging up the phone, Lin Hao took back the puppet Wang Siki and left the auction center. Evil Warhorse. The warhorse from hell appeared out of thin air. Lin Hao jumped on its back and set off towards the Imperial Capital Airport using optical brain navigation. The evil war horse covered in flames ran at full speed, so fast that no camera could capture its figure. The ground it trampled left a row of shallow horse hoof prints, and the fire of hell was left on it, which has been burning. Lin Yarong returned to the hotel room, took off her dress as quickly as possible, took out the night combat uniform from the storage halo and put it on. After going downstairs, he took out his hover motorcycle and took another uninhabited road in the suburbs. The speed reached 400 kilometers per hour. Finally, he met Lin Hao at the entrance of the airport before Jin Yunner arrived. "Sister, I checked all the flights based on the information you just sent. The fastest flight back to Shanghai is at 7:30 tomorrow morning." Lin Hao's evil horse was too fast. After arriving at the airport, he went to the self-service machine to check all flights and waited at the door for half an hour before seeing Lin Yarong. As for Kim Yuna, it will take more than 20 minutes to get to the airport. Lin Yarong said to herself, if the nearest flight is 7:30 tomorrow morning, then what is she doing at the airport now? There is no way she can stay in an airport hotel and wait for the earliest flight tomorrow. So, there is only one answer: she has a special plane. Is it a private jet? Isn't a jet powered by the Force very expensive? A non-aristocratic family cannot afford it. Does the Thorn Gold Guild have so much money? Lin Hao asked. Today's private planes are different from the private planes in the old technological society that Lin Hao knew. Today's private planes are equipped with force weapons. This is to ensure the safety of the air. Flying monsters will occasionally break into the airspace controlled by UED. Powerful weapons, force charging, and maintenance are extremely expensive, and ordinary rich people simply cannot afford them. Lin Hao also knows this. After all, he has been here for 6 years. As long as you often surf the internet, these are common knowledge. It's not a private plane, she should be a chartered flight, a round-trip charter service. The distance from the Magic City to the Imperial Capital is not far, the price is not very expensive, and the Thorn Gold Guild can completely afford it, Lin Yarong said. Should we intercept her halfway? Lin Hao asked. There are 4 level 60 guards. We need to cut off their combat effectiveness with one blow and make them incapacitated. The most worrying thing is that Kim Yuna has the props and equipment to save her life and escape. If we can't kill them all in one blow, we will be in trouble. According to you, speaking of which, Kim Yuna will arrive at the airport in less than 20 minutes, and we don't have time to set up a trap. The only way now is that the chartered flight has a dedicated entrance to the airport, and we will lurk in there now and snatch the prop wormhole away. Lin Yarong frowned. It was really troublesome now, and one thing she didn't say was that Jin Yunner was taking the regular airport expressway, which had many cameras. If he wanted to attack her, he would have to choose a location without cameras in advance. There is no time to arrange it now. She thought Lin Hao also knew this, so there was no need to explain it in particular. However, Lin Yarong already has a rough response plan. After all, charter flights are VIP customers, and there are very few cameras in the dedicated channels. This is to protect the privacy of VIPs. Many VIPs will hang out with their female companions while waiting for the flight, so each VIP has a separate waiting room. Privacy is well done. In addition, since the last Tianwan Plaza attack, both planes and trains have strictly inspected passengers. VIP customers are inspected in separate rooms, so there is an opportunity. Now we just need to make cooperative arrangements with my brother's undead creatures, and there is a high chance that the prop wormhole can be stolen. Sister, I mean to intercept her on her way back to the Magic City, Lin Hao said. Interception on the way back to the Magic City? Let's not mention that we don't have the means to fly now. Even if we do, there is nothing we can do against her with the force weapons and energy shields on the plane. Lin Yarong shook her head and said. Maybe others can't do it, but I can, Lin Hao said. What can I do? Lin Yarong asked. The energy shield of the aircraft is very hard and difficult for non-high-level monsters to penetrate, but there is no protection inside it, such as the force energy conversion device. What will happen if I use larva to detonate it? Lin Hao asked. Lin Yarong thought for a few seconds and said, nowadays, planes have emergency plans, and even Jin Yunner should have life-saving props, so we'd better confirm it on the spot. The journey to the Imperial Capital flying Magic City only takes a few dozen minutes, but she arrived at the airport. She can't take off immediately and needs to apply for approval. It will probably take at least an hour for her to take off, but we have time. After saying that, he immediately took out the hoverbike and said, come on, let's go now. The Imperial Capital flying Demon City follows a fixed route. Evil Warhorse. Lin Hao summoned the evil warhorse, and then said, sister, your hover motorcycle is a bit old and not fast enough. Take mine and my warhorse will run faster. Lin Yarong glanced at the tall and domineering evil spirit warhorse covered in flames, and then at her second-hand hover motorcycle, which was completely smaller. Forget it, my brother's warhorse is more domineering. Lin Hao was driving the evil horse, and Lin Yarong was sitting in front of him, using an optical computer to calculate the flight path, and then locate the possible crash location, which was probably in the suburbs 600 kilometers south after leaving the imperial capital. The siblings went to ambush him. The other side, the commercial car that Kim Yun-ah was riding in had already got off the airport expressway, and she could see the brightly lit imperial capital airport in the distance. I'm already near the airport. I'll be entering the airport in 10 minutes. Can you apply for takeoff for me? Jin Yun'er called Zhang Jin when she got off the highway. Zhang Jin said, when you sent me a text message saying that you had photographed the prop wormhole, I submitted the application. But you may have to wait an hour when you arrive at the airport because there will be detailed inspections. Oh, what's going on? Jin Yun'er asked. It's nothing, just a routine inspection. Didn't the OD attack the commercial plaza in the center of the imperial capital a few days ago? Now all transportation vehicles in the entire imperial capital are inspected more strictly, especially those equipped with force weapons, Zhang Jin said. Well, I got it. Make arrangements. As soon as I return to the Magic City, we will immediately set off to the neon hunting area. I must find out who killed my son, even if he was killed by a monster by mistake. I also want to know the truth. Jin Yun'er was slightly excited. She was not Zhang Jin's first wife. Zhang Jin married her after his divorce. The two worked together to establish the Thorn Gold Guild in the Magic City. They worked hard until now and have reached a certain scale. Over the years, Zhang Jin and Jin Yun'er have only had one son, and she originally planned to pass the Thorn Gold Guild to her son. Now that her son is gone, she must know the truth no matter what. If the son himself was killed by the monster for no reason, then it was destiny and he could only accept his fate. If her son was killed by him, she would take revenge even if she spent all her property. Kim Yuna's car entered the airport and took the VIP channel. After getting off the bus, the group came to the VIP waiting hall, and then entered the arranged room under the arrangement of the ground staff, waiting for the inspector to come for inspection. Normally, the VIP waiting room is not so strict. Now is a special period. Everyone who wants to travel has to check their identity information. Not only the appearance and pupil information, but even fingerprints and DNA must be checked. Kim Yuna felt that this was not an inspection, but a search for someone. The UED government was secretly looking for someone. However, this has nothing to do with herself. Kim Yuna only sees the truth about her son's disappearance. After Kim Yuna and her party underwent inspection, they were allowed to board the plane. Kim Yuna, who was holding a delicate box in her hand, boarded the plane and left immediately. She didn't want to waste a second. After getting on the plane, the four escorts felt that it was safe for the time being. Because the airport had carried out such strict inspections, there was no chance that anything would go wrong on the plane. The aircraft we have now are all intelligently controlled by AI, and there are no pilots. Even flight attendants, if there are no special requirements, are almost all robot AI services. Of course, VIP customers on chartered flights are still provided with beautiful flight attendant services, but Kim Yuna does not need them. Therefore, there were only 6 people in the entire plane, including Kim Yuna and no one else. Therefore, the 4 guards relaxed their vigilance and rested separately. According to the itinerary, after getting off the plane in Shanghai, we will immediately set off to the neon hunting area. There will be almost no rest until the President and Secretary General find out the truth about their youngest son's disappearance. Take a moment to squint now. The same goes for Jin Yun'er, taking advantage of this moment to close her eyes and rest for a few dozen minutes. The larva in her hair crawled out along the hairline as the plane began to prepare for takeoff. Along the hair, he climbed to the side of the seat, slid down along the clothes, then jumped off the seat, flew along the edge of the aircraft cabin, close to the bottom of the cabin, and flew towards the back of the cabin. Charter services are basically small planes, not very big. They are divided into 2 floors. The upper floor is where passengers sit, and the lower floor is where luggage is stored and where the force energy storage and conversion device is located. When customers board the plane, they go directly to the upper deck. If they want to go to the lower deck, they need to go to the very back of the cabin. There is a small staircase door that leads down. This latter door is closed and made of a polymer material, which is very light and very hard at the same time. The polymer material is not a problem for the larva at all. It can be bitten directly with the mouth opened, and it will be chewed through in less than 2 minutes. When they reached the lower level, the larva immediately enlarged and began to hatch. In just a few seconds, undead cockroaches hatched out. The immortal cockroach identified the location and direction, then climbed onto the conversion device, waiting for orders. During the waiting process, the undead cockroach's saliva kept dripping, and it had begun to corrode the conversion device. Before the order came, the conversion device had been corroded through the shell by its saliva. In an instant, the conversion device stopped working, and the aircraft lost its main engine. Power, the alarm goes off. What happened? Kim Yuna was woken up by the alarm. The 4 guards reacted immediately. They rushed into the cab to check the situation. They came to Jin Yunner and took out life-saving tools to protect Jin Yunner. Kim Yuna hugged the box tightly and took out the life-saving tools herself. After a while, the 2 guards who entered the cab came back. Kim Yuna immediately asked, "What's going on? Did you encounter a monster in the sky?" Although it is rare for the route from the imperial capital to the magic capital to be attacked by an aerial monster even once in 10 years, it is not that such a situation has never happened. Secretary General, it's not a monster. The plane has lost its main power. We may have to make an emergency landing, guard report reported. Losing power? How could we lose power for no reason? Where will we make an emergency landing? Kim Yuna asked. The housing of the AI display conversion device malfunctioned, but the specific cause is currently unknown. The backup power now is enough to get us to the nearest Emin City airport, the guard said. Fortunately, Wyman City is on the route back to the Magic City. Contact the airline immediately. We will transfer the flight immediately in Emin City and let them prepare. Kim Yuna did not think of other problems and only regarded it as a normal malfunction. The undead cockroaches on the lower floor received the order at this time and began to attack the conversion device and the force energy storage next to it like crazy. It bites, cuts with a sickle, and sprays venom everywhere. This venom is 100 times more corrosive than saliva. After a while, the conversion device was bitten by an undead cockroach and chopped into pieces. The moment the force energy storage was corroded by the venom, it exploded with a bang. Although it was not powerful, it was enough to blast through the lower layer of the aircraft, causing the plane to lose even its backup power and fall directly. Warning, warning, total loss of power, crash, crash. Contact headquarters and send a rescue team. As the AI's final alarm sounded, the plane completely lost its balance and fell to the ground, with fire still burning at the tail. Secretary General, be careful, in the cabin, everyone lost their center of gravity. The 4 guards lost their balance and bumped into the side of the cabin. Fortunately for Kim Yuna, she was still in the seat, and the AI automatically put on the seatbelt to secure her in the seat without throwing her out. However, the sudden drop made her unable to hold the box steady, and the box was thrown out. My box. Kim Yuna wanted to unbuckle her seatbelt and get the box, but was held down by the assistant next to her. On the ground, Lin Hao and Lin Yarong were already ready at the positions calculated by the optical brain. This is a small forest with no houses within 100 miles. If the moon hadn't been so big tonight, I might not have been able to see clearly even within 1 meter of my eyes. Lin Hao had already summoned the skeleton, the puppet Wang Siki, and the ghost baby shaman. The puppet king Siki released more than 2,000 undead cockroaches, and more undead cockroaches have been born in recent days. The ghost shaman dances and summons 10 ghost warriors and 3 zombie dogs. All were hiding in the bushes. Lin Yarong's left eyelid kept twitching as she watched her brother summon so many undead creatures. I feel like that woman will die miserably soon. Lin Yarong looked at the group of undead cockroaches with goosebumps rising. Lin Hao said, "Since the day her son started bullying me, our siblings and her family have had an irresolvable hatred. However, I don't have the habit of abusing my enemies. I will give her a pleasure and let the immortal cockroach just eat it alive, it won't be too painful." Lin Yarong's cheeks jumped, and she said that she had no habit of abusing her enemies. After everything was ready, Lin Hao gave orders to the larva on the plane through shared vision, ordering it to crawl to the lower level, then hatch into an undead cockroach, wait for the plane to reach the aerial position predetermined by the optical brain, and then start attacking the conversion device and force energy. Lin Yarong looked at the sky with a telescope. She often went on missions, so she always had high-precision telescopes. I saw a spark flashing high in the sky. It was the explosion of fire in the bottom cabin of the plane Kim Yuna was riding on. Although it could be seen with a telescope on the ground, it was like a spark for a moment. The plane fell very fast and hit the ground. However, there may be a deviation in the calculation of the optical brain, and the plane fell thousands of meters away from the predetermined position. But it didn't matter. Lin Hao immediately ordered all undead units to immediately go to the place where the plane crashed and surround it. The two siblings, who had already put on black robes, rode evil warhorses to the location where the plane crashed. The two of them have been riding on the back of the evil spirit horse since they arrived here. As for the anger value consumed per second, Lin Yarong gave Lin Hao a low-level energy recovery necklace to wear. The anger value was restored by more than 3 points per second, which was just enough to maintain. Where the plane crashed, more than 2,000 undead creatures surrounded it like a giant pincer. When the plane crashed, it caused an explosion, which was very powerful. The entire fuselage was blown to pieces, and thick smoke billowed. If it was daytime, it could be seen at least dozens of miles away. Unfortunately, it was night now, and the thick black smoke blended perfectly into the night. It is an uninhabited place with a radius of hundreds of miles. The nearest city of Emin is 200 kilometers away, and the outermost suburbs of the imperial capital are more than 600 kilometers away. However, Kim Yuna survived the crash and explosion intact. Not only Jin Yunner, but the 4 guards and the assistant were all fine. They all used powerful life-saving props with strong shield effects to protect themselves during the crash and explosion. However, such powerful props are almost always disposable. Once activated, they will fall apart as soon as the effectiveness time expires. The guards cleared a path and rescued Kim Yuna and her assistant. Today's aircraft do not consume aviation kerosene, but compressed raw energy. The power of the explosion is completely unmatched by aviation kerosene. So Jin Yunner's life was saved, but the shield effect of the prop disappeared quickly, and the smoke billowed, making everyone very embarrassed. My wormhole, huh? Find it for me. After Kim Yuna was rescued, she immediately remembered that during the crash, due to weightlessness and inertia, the box containing the prop wormhole flew out and hit the edge of the aircraft cabin. After the explosion, I don't know if the box was blown to pieces, and I don't know if the prop wormhole is still intact. The 4 guards immediately started looking for it. They knew how important the prop wormhole was to the President and Secretary General. Hopefully the box will be recovered before help arrives. Kim Yuna took out her communicator and wanted to call her husband Zhang Jin to tell him that she encountered a plane malfunction and crashed. However, before Zhang Jin dialed the number, a small arrow flew over with a swish sound and directly pierced Jin Yunner's optical brain with a pop sound, scrapping Jin Yunner's optical brain and communication equipment. Who? Jin Yunner shouted loudly, and the 4 guards came back immediately, giving up looking for the box and giving priority to protecting the Secretary General. The plane continued to burn after the explosion. The area illuminated by the light was very bright, but outside the area, it was pitch black and nothing could be seen at all. Chirp, chirp, hee, dumb. A series of screams came. Although the sound was very small, it sounded very harsh, and combined with the surrounding darkness, it gave a strange feeling. Jin Yunner instinctively retreated to a position where the fire was brighter. The 4 guards were in a 4-corner defensive posture, with all their weapons already out. In the darkness, a short man with dark skin, holding a dagger in one hand and a blow dart in the other, walked out of the darkness, and then danced and screamed, "Gah!" The sound was particularly unpleasant, and the expression was extremely ferocious, but it looked like it seems that it is very excited, as if calling for its companions. The stick stall? How is that possible? This is the heart of the hinterland controlled by the UED. How can there be a stick stall? Jin Yunner immediately recognized what the short monster was. Although the skin color was much darker, the height, the dagger, and the blow dart were all standard features of the stick stall. Swish, swish, swish. A series of crawling sounds of objects approached, and then a mutated cockroach appeared at the junction of light and darkness on the other side. It opened its mouth full of sharp teeth. After seeing Jin Yunner and his party, it drooled and dripped on the ground, making a sizzling sound, and even produced bubbles and a slight explosion. What kind of monster is this? As the Secretary General of the Thorn Gold Guild, Kim Yuna is familiar with the illustrations of various monsters, and often bargains with various groups, companies, and universities that recover monster corpses. However, she had never seen this kind of monster before. It looked like a cockroach or some kind of bug, but it also looked like a zombie. Formation. Although the experienced guards did not recognize what kind of bug it was, they were certain that it must appear in groups. There are 4 guards, 2 standing in front holding knives, swords and shields, 1 holding a staff, and 1 holding a force weapon, a superpower gun, which is charged with its own superpower attributes to launch a powerful attack. Currently it can only be a natural element superpower, used by the attacker. Two long-range attackers stood behind, and behind them were Kim Yuna and her assistant. The group of people leaned against the burning wreckage of the plane to avoid being attacked from both sides. Soon, the guard's judgment was correct. In front of them, at the junction of darkness and firelight, a large number of unknown insects appeared waving their sickle-like claws. They looked at several people and drooled, as if they saw food as the same. Use magic and superpower guns as much as possible. We don't know how many of these bugs there are. We must not let them get close. With so many skills in the hinterland of UED, it will definitely not be a powerful monster. Hold on for a while. The eye of the aircraft has already sent a signal requesting rescue. I believe that rescue will come soon. We just need to hold on for a while. That's good. Kim Yuna tried her best to cheer up the four guards. She is just a D-class superpower, only level 40. She has not yet advanced to the next level. She is not good at fighting at all, and her levels have been bumped up. The little assistant next to her was a completely ordinary person. She could only survive just now because of the props. There are 4 guards, 3 are B level and 1 is A level. All of them are level 60 and have not yet advanced. Kim Yuna believes that as long as her judgment is correct, everyone can survive. Crack. There was a sound like a whip whipping to the ground in the darkness, and the insects rushed over like crazy as if they had received some signal. All the objects in the 180 degrees gaze were insects, crawling very fast. Use your ultimate move, Jin Yunner gave the order, and the mage did not hesitate and directly used his ultimate move, Flame Vortex. This move has a huge range, and the high-temperature flames form a huge vortex in front, drawing a large number of insects into it. The large amount of updrafts caused by the heat wave blow the insects into the sky, and then fall heavily to the ground. However, these insects seemed not to be harmed. After falling to the ground, they turned over, shook themselves, and continued to rush forward. Those insects that were directly burned by the flames were even more outrageous. They did not suffer any damage at all and rushed directly out of the range of the flames and continued to rush forward. How is that possible? These bugs are immune to fire. The mage was shocked. He had already discovered that it was his maximum range of fire skills. It could melt ordinary iron, but it couldn't burn insects? Then there is only one answer: these bugs are immune to fire damage. You know, insect monsters are usually most afraid of flames. Are these bugs immune to fire damage? The one holding the gun is a user with wind attributes, and the wind energy bullets he fires are very powerful and can cut bugs directly. However, his gun is not a machine gun like Gatling's dense burst of fire. He does not have that much force power to supply, and the output is limited. 300 rounds per minute is already the limit and cannot be sustained. This was completely unable to stop the bugs in front of them. Before they had fired a few shots, the bugs were almost rushing in front of them. The 2 front rowers raised their shields and were ready to attack. At this time, behind them, a skeleton suddenly appeared in the raging fire, stretched out a white bone claw, grabbed the assistant, dragged her into the burning wreckage of the plane, ended her life with a knife, and then a wisp of the green corpse essence was drawn out. In the fire, a group of undead cockroaches pounced on him, tearing apart the assistant while it was still hot. In the darkness, Lin Hao and Lin Yarong were riding on evil horses, watching from a distance as Jin Yunner and his party were besieged. The puppet Wang Siki stood beside him, and the ghost shaman danced voodoo madly in front, giving all undead units on his side add buff. Although the undead cockroach is almost immune to fire damage, the fire wizards among the 4 guards almost lose their attack power. But the level of the undead cockroach is always low. Even if its movement speed and attack speed are fast enough, it still can't do anything to the 4 guards. Every time the 2 front rowers waved their swords, they could blow away a row of undead cockroaches. The gunmen only needed to use wind skills to blow at the undead cockroaches, making it difficult for them to get close. Even the fire mage who lost his attack power and turned into Gandalf and knocked with the staff in his hand could force the undead cockroach away. It's almost there. There's not much point in a head-on confrontation. Level 20 versus level 60. You can't win with numbers. Lin Yarong looked at the current results. If the fight continued, they would only consume all the undead cockroaches. Well, all the undead cockroaches have entered the attack range. The undead cockroaches surround them but only spray poison. Skeletons and ghost warriors start attacking. Lin Hao also agreed with Lin Yarong's statement and now began to engage in a different kind of war of attrition. The puppet king Siki immediately gave the order. The immortal cockroaches took a few steps back and exited the range of the front row attack. Then all the immortal cockroaches began to spray venom and stopped rushing forward to fight hand to hand. Don't underestimate the venom. Although the undead cockroaches are only level 20, their venom can corrode all the shells and muscles of level 45 mutant cockroaches. The two front rowers saw a large number of undead cockroaches spraying venom, and their instinctive reaction to the danger was to raise their shields and use defensive skills to block them. Giant shield barrier, energy shield, wind wall. Two people used skills, and one used the energy shield of force technology to protect all 5 of their own people inside. They also knew that the assistant was dragged away by the skeleton, but faced with an unknown number of undead cockroaches, they couldn't spare the time to save him. Moreover, the little assistant just said, "Ah," when they reacted and looked back. The little assistant had been stabbed through the heart by the skeleton and was unable to recover. Now the 4 guards formed a triangle defense, with tanks and soldiers defending one corner respectively, mages and gunners defending one corner together, protecting Jin Yunner in the middle. Although the venom of the undead cockroach was blocked by 3 shields, the shields were also severely corroded, and the force must be constantly replenished to maintain its form. The guards judged that if they were sprayed by the venom of this circle of insects, the amount and toxicity would definitely turn all 5 of their own people into blood. The 2 front rowers might be able to hold on to the venom and run out, but the 2 back rowers and the Secretary General cannot move quickly. Now we can only hold up the shield and maintain the triangle defense formation and slowly walk out step by step. 3 zombie dogs, each carrying 3 ghost warriors on their backs, quickly rushed towards Jin Yunner and the others. They rushed directly towards Jin Yunner and the others without their lives. The ghost warriors danced and screamed excitedly with smack, smack, in their mouths. As soon as the 9 ghost babies touched the shield, they did not make any unnecessary movements and directly exploded. Boom, boom, boom. 9 explosions in a row destroyed the energy shield. The energy was exhausted instantly. The venom spurted in at the moment the shield disappeared. Although the shield was raised to block it, the shield began to be corroded and would be corroded in a minute or 2 at most. Corroded into powder, the energy shield can no longer be maintained. The shields made by force technology are always inferior to the legendary and above shields used by superpowers in terms of resistance to grass. How could this happen? Where did the zombie dogs appear? We didn't attack the stick stalls, so why did they explode themselves? A series of questions made Kim Yuna start to doubt her life. Someone must be behind this. Boss, you carry my wife on your back and rush out with a shield. This is the only way to survive. Boss, leave us alone, carry the Secretary General and get out of here. The 2 back rows also suspected that someone was behind the scenes, and now only the A-level front row tank could rush out. The tank in the front row knew very well that this was indeed a way to escape, but his 3 brothers would definitely be surrounded and killed here. They cannot move fast at all. When moving at high speed, the wind wall cannot move with them to protect them. Now that the energy shield is broken, they will be melted by the venom sooner or later. The ground beneath their feet has been melted by the venom into a small pit. There is almost no place for everyone to stand. If they don't run, they will have no chance. He gritted his teeth and said, "Madam, come up quickly and I will carry you out." Jin Yunner didn't hesitate, and immediately jumped on his back. Then Tank raised his shield, using shield raising to block the wall, and at the same time using brutal collision, trying to open a way. Want to leave? What a wishful thinking. Lin Hao took hold of his left hand, and the essence he had just drawn from his assistant was already ready. The moment the tank just made a brutal collision, an evil explosion hit his face and exploded. Bang! With a loud noise, the brutal collision and the evil explosion were offset, forcing Tank and Jin Yunner back. Jin Yunner also fell to the ground and fell upside down. What's going on? There was no Styx doll rushing over, so why did it suddenly explode? It's still so powerful. Tank was very shocked because he didn't see anything. If it weren't for the huge shield barrier protecting him, the evil explosion might have hurt him. Before he could finish his shock, the zombie dogs and ghost warriors who had been resurrected by the ghost shaman launched a second round of self-destruction attacks. As long as the ghost shaman is still there, these ghost warriors and zombie dogs can be resurrected continuously. The self-destruction of the ghost warrior is calculated based on blood volume. It is completely unreasonable to exchange blood for blood. The damage caused to the shield is incomparable to the venom. This time, the self-destruction attack was concentrated on the 2 back rows, blowing up the wind wall. The moment the wind wall disappeared, the mage immediately propped up the fire shield and used the firewall at the same time. After the wind wall's CD was restored, he could cycle through the shields. The self-destruction attack of the ghost warrior was staring at them. The fire shield and firewall that had just been propped up were broken by the subsequent self-destruction. Now the shield skills of both the mage and the gunner were in CD. 27 skeletons rushed forward frantically, surrounding the mage and gunner, and the two were forced to engage in close-quarters combat that they were not good at. Although the skeletons were only level 20 and could not cause much damage to the mages and gunners at once, they were cut with a knife here, a sword there, and stabbed in the side with a dagger. The health of the two of them was worn away little by little. The mage and gunner have lost count of how many skeletons they have smashed, but these skeletons keep coming, and there is simply no way to kill them all. As long as you smash one, another one will come out 2 seconds later. As long as Lin Hao is still alive, as long as the command skeleton is not closed, the skeletons will continue to kill. They wanted to run but couldn't. The venom of the undead cockroaches had blocked the roads on both sides of them. If you rush forward, you will either be pushed back by Lin Hao's evil explosion, or you will be hurt by the self-explosion of the ghost warrior and be pushed back. In desperation, Jin Yuner shouted loudly, "Which master is this? I am the Secretary General of the Thorn Gold Guild and the wife of the President. As long as you are willing to be noble, I will definitely give you what you want. In addition, I will give you what you want. Pay the price with your life." She believed that someone must be behind the attack, and that it had been a part of the attack since the plane malfunctioned. They must do this because they have what they need. The most valuable thing they have right now is the prop wormhole. Therefore, Kim Yuna decided to negotiate. This was the last chance to survive. The truth behind his missing son? Please, if my life is on the line, does the truth about my son's disappearance still matter? Only by surviving can you have a chance to find out the truth. After Kim Yuna shouted a request to be noble, soon the undead cockroaches stopped spraying poison, the skeletons stopped attacking, the ghost warriors stopped charging and self-destructing, and the zombie dogs stopped charging to their deaths. After a while, a tall war horse appeared behind the immortal cockroach, with flames burning all over its body, and even the red flames sprayed out of its nostrils. On the war horse, a figure was wearing a tattered hooded black robe, with the entire body covered by the black robe, and a mask covering the entire face. The whole body exuded a strange aura, like the god of death from hell. Next to him, stood a woman whose face could not be clearly seen because her skin color was dark, as if she had blended into the dark night. Her eyes were glowing with a dark red light, and there seemed to be runes flickering on her neck. Finally, Jin Yuner saw 3 Styx dolls stacked on top of each other on the other side of the war horse. The top one wore a feather-like hat on its head, which was a bit like the Indian people in North America in the old technological society. She recognized the eagle feather crown. It was the Styx doll shaman. Jin Yuner and the 4 guards were very shocked. Who is this person? He could actually make the Styx doll shaman be used by him. No matter who this person is, since he is willing to show up, it means that we can discuss it. In the words of the young and dangerous gangsters in the underworld, it is called having a plan. Just look at the monsters around now and don't attack anymore, you can tell. Senior, if you want anything, just ask. As long as I can get it, I will give it to you with both hands, Jin Yuner said immediately. The other party didn't reply, just looked at him coldly. Senior, what do you want? Just ask, Jin Yuner asked again, feeling quite anxious. How could I know what you want if you don't ask? Even if you want the prop wormhole, just say something. There was still no reply from the person on the other end, but something contemptuous was humming from beneath the mask. The 4 guards pricked up their ears, trying to hear something from the laughter, but they only heard 4 words: curse aging. Just when everyone was focusing on themselves, horrified that all attributes and abilities in their body had dropped by 40%, Lin Yarong, who was retreating, was already ready with the help of the burning wreckage of the plane. Super Electromagnetic Sword Drawing Technique. Thunder Technique Electric Shooting Star Kai. Lin Yarong exploded in an instant. The 2 undead cockroaches she was stepping on were pushed back by her feet and their bodies exploded. She shot out like lightning, and in the blink of an eye she was among the 5 Jin Yuners. She killed the 2 tanks and soldiers in the front row with 1 sword. The heads were chopped off directly. Even though the tank still maintains the defensive skill giant shield barrier, unfortunately, under the dragon tooth sword, it is like paper and breaks the shield with 1 blow. In conjunction with Lin Yarong's fastest lightning skill, Lightning Star Kai, it only took 0.5 seconds from the moment Lin Yarong exploded her skill to the time when the 2 heads flew up. Their eyes were still as big as lanterns, spinning in the air. Lin Yarong cut off 2 heads with 1 sword, and did not stay there. Instead, she followed the sword's force and flew into the darkness on the other side, where there were already undead cockroaches waiting for Lin Yarong to tiptoe. This is Lin Yarong's request, not to leave even a single footprint on the ground during the whole process. Jin Yunner, the mage and the gunner just blinked and felt a golden light flash by. The heads of the two people standing in the front row flew up. The blood was delayed for half a second before it sprayed out and sprinkled on Jin Yunner. With mages and gunners. Why is this? Jin Yunner didn't understand. Since he showed up, why did he need to sneak attack? Evil explosion. Bang, bang. The essences of the two corpses in the front row were instantly drawn out, and then exploded behind the mage and gunner. The two of them were unprepared and without using any defensive skills, they were blown away. The mage was even injured on the back of his neck, and blood flowed wildly. This is not over yet. The suit attributes, corpse spears, are activated, and the two front row corpses instantly condense 10 corpse spears, swishing towards the mage and gunner. At the same time, the puppet Wang Siki used a death mark on the mage, which increased the damage he received by 23%. Coupled with the legendary special effects of the incinerator, the damage to elites was increased by 40%. Lin Hao had no idea why this mage was judged as an elite. Anyway, the legendary special effects of the incinerator were shown to be in effect. The mage, who originally had a low defense, did not use any defensive skills, nor did he activate any defensive items. The only life-saving item he had used when he crashed was exhausted. Aging, death mark, and incinerator special effects made him vulnerable. Incomparably, he was stabbed by a corpse spear on the spot, vomiting blood, and fell to the ground dead. Jin Yunner was too frightened to say anything. The gunman was also attacked by 2 or 3 corpse spears, but he had high agility and quick reaction and avoided the vital points. Although he was injured, it was not fatal. "I'm sorry, Secretary General." The gunman left a message, directly used the wind skill to catch the wind, turned around and ran away. He thought that he would be able to escape by taking advantage of his unexpected skills. But he forgot that there was another person outside the fire, and Lin Yarong was ready to prevent anyone from escaping. Moves like thunder. The auxiliary skills of the thunder system allowed Lin Yarong to reach her ultimate speed, and she instantly flashed to the gunman's side, wielding the dragon tooth sword and hitting level A. The gunman's eyes widened with disbelief and unwillingness. In the darkness, only a flash of sword light could be seen, and then the gunman's head was thrown back, and the essence was taken away by Lin Hao and stored in the body of the puppet Wang Siki. Jin Yunner was completely desperate at this time. I don't understand. Why do you want to kill me?" Jin Yunner knew that she would definitely die next. "Why? Because I have no value in living. Although the Thorny Gold Guild is now prosperous, it has almost no foundation and is not worth the attention of any big shot. Even if it kidnaps itself, it will not be able to extort much valuable things. Even if you sell yourself as a sex slave, or dissect your whole body and sell it, it won't be worth much at all. It's not worth using so many monsters, and there are characters who can instantly kill tanks with defensive skills in one blow. This is simply too much to kill a chicken with a 155 howitzer. Do you understand that you want to die?" At this time, Lin Hao spoke, but his voice was processed by optical brain, making him look a bit middle-aged and older. For some reason, God knows if this woman hid something to record nearby and secretly filmed it. "Let me be clear," Kim Yuna said. When the gunman's head was thrown back, the undead cockroaches all started to move, and one by one they rushed into the wreckage of the plane, looking for something. Not long after, an immortal cockroach rushed out holding an exquisite box and ran to Lin Hao, as if asking for credit, and other immortal cockroaches followed. Is it really because of this? No, because the prop wormhole is too limited. It is not something very precious and difficult to buy. If you really want it, you can go to the auction house and buy it in advance. The cost will not be more than what you need to attack me now. There are many resources. There must be another reason, tell me." Kim Yuna doesn't think this is the truth, there must be a deeper reason. Regardless of what she was saying, Lin Hao got the box from the undead cockroach and opened it to make sure it contained the prop wormhole. "That's why." Lin Hao thought he was right, it was because of this thing that he attacked you. At this time, the undead cockroaches had already surrounded him. Jin Yunner didn't believe it, but it didn't matter anymore. "Why do you believe me or not?" Lin Hao wanted to take the opportunity to test out his new skills, so he pointed his finger at the corpse on the ground and said, "Soul erosion." The mage's soul was forcibly pulled out of the void. After his soul was pulled out by soul eclipse, it could no longer be called a soul. There is no memory of his life, and his personality, thoughts, beliefs, etc. have all faded away. He doesn't even have any resentment or hatred. He is like the most ferocious demon that escaped from hell and only treats everything. The fresh souls of flesh and blood creatures are interested and instinctively want to devour these souls. Lin Hao believed that this could no longer be called a ghost. He looked at the plugin skill bar and clicked on soul erosion. Sure enough, there was information about this thing. The current skill level can only summon one evil spirit. The evil spirit that was pulled out was completely obedient to Lin Hao's orders. As long as Lin Hao wanted to attack anyone, it would attack immediately. Lin Hao pointed his finger at Jin Yun'er, and the evil spirit burst into Jin Yun'er's body with a horrifying and weird laugh. Ah ha ha ha. Jin Yun'er activated the last defensive item and wanted to block it. But unfortunately, evil spirits have no entity and cannot be stopped by any physical means. The evil spirit passed through the shield activated by Jin Yun'er, and then entered Jin Yun'er's body, tearing, biting and devouring Jin Yun'er's soul. Ah, the pain of a soul being torn apart and physical injury are completely different concepts. Kim Yuna grabbed her hair frantically and screamed in pain at the highest decibel level. After a while, Jin Yun'er went completely crazy. Her soul was completely torn and devoured, her facial features were distorted, and her 7 orifices began to bleed to death. When Lin Hao looked at this death scene, it felt like a scene from a horror movie, extremely unsuitable for children. Although Kim Yuna is level 40, she is not wearing any equipment and evil spirits can easily kill her. It means that 4000% weapon damage in 12 seconds. If you are level 40 and don't wear equipment, you are almost certain to die. After the evil spirit devoured Jin Yun'er's soul, it did not dissipate, but seemed to be waiting for orders. Lin Hao was thinking, if he wanted to keep this thing, he could use it directly next time without the need to summon it separately. That would be great. The puppet Wang Siki seemed to hear Lin Hao's voice, and with a wave of his hand, he directly sucked the evil spirit into his body and stored it. The evil spirit entered her body and was not much different from those corpse spirits, turning into an extremely tiny point of light. Is this okay? Can evil spirits be contained? Lin Hao had to say that commanding puppets was indeed a skill he had learned. It was very good and powerful. Clean up everything here. I don't want to see any residue. Lin Hao ordered that it was time to clean up the mess and leave. The puppet king Siki waved his hand, and the undead cockroaches immediately surrounded and gnawed on the corpse crazily, leaving almost no scraps of meat behind. There were even many undead cockroaches who ran a step too slow to catch the food, and were so angry that they gnawed on the wreckage of the plane. In just a few minutes, the wreckage of the plane and all the corpses were eaten clean. Even the corpses of the undead cockroaches and zombie dogs whose hands and feet were broken were eaten clean, leaving no residue at all. Lin Yarong had returned to Lin Hao at this time and sat on the evil spirit horse. Let's retreat quickly now, go back to the imperial capital, and find a place to have a midnight snack, Lin Yarong said to Lin Hao. Well, listen to my sister. The airline's rescue team will come to search in a moment, and now we have to leave the scene quickly. The puppet king Siki took all the undead cockroaches back into his body, and the ghost baby shaman also let the ghost baby warriors and zombie dogs return to the earth. Then Lin Hao put away the puppet Wang Siki, the ghost baby shaman, and the skeletons, as if nothing had happened. Pass. The 2 siblings sat on evil spirit horses and ran back to the imperial capital as fast as possible. After being chased from the imperial capital, and now retreating, the evil war horse did not leave any hoofprints, nor did it leave any flames to burn the earth. It could have been like this. The hoofprints in the auction center were Lin Hao's pretense. He felt this was very majestic. When setting off from the imperial capital, Lin Yarong discovered the problem and gave Lin Hao a bang on the spot. He could not leave any horse hoofprints. Now was not the time to show off. The purpose is obvious, leaving no evidence. Just 20 minutes after Lin Yarong and Lin Hao left the scene, the rescue team appeared nearby. It took less than 5 minutes from the time the aircraft AI alert was received to the time the AI sent out the crash signal. The rescue team was quickly prepared and set off from Gate City. Today's Force Kinetic aircraft is equipped with AI fully automatic intelligent control. Even if it crashes, the black box on board is equipped with AI and will automatically send the most accurate coordinates. It would have only taken the rescue team about an hour to reach the location. But for some unknown reason, the signal from the black box suddenly disappeared, and the search and rescue of the rescue team who lost the coordinates began to become difficult. Although they arrived at the scene within an hour, they did not find the wreckage of the plane, nor encountered any survivors. Even the bodies of the victims were not found. According to the information, there were only 6 customers on the plane this time, 5 of them were psychics, and 4 had reached level 60. There was no reason why not one of them would survive. Are the current level 60 superpowers so useless? During the previous large-scale land conquest wars, those level 60 superpowers could even face the old ones at close range without going crazy, and they could still fight until their blood ran out. The area was deserted and pitch black, making search and rescue more difficult. Even using wide area lighting was inconvenient. But if you can't find it, you have to keep looking. This time it's a VIP customer of the charter flight. If something happens and you can't even find the hair, it will have a huge impact on the airline. The search continued until sunrise, but still could not determine the location of the crash. Only the suspected location was found. However, there were signs of burning at the suspected location, but there was no plane wreckage. Even the debris that flew out after the crash was not found nearby. What puzzled the rescue team even more was that they couldn't even find the black box. There is really no other way but to report it to the airline. The airline immediately organized a more professional search team, and the Thorn Gold Guild also sent people to cooperate in the search. But still nothing was found. The search range has been expanded from the coordinates sent by the original black box to a radius of 100 kilometers, and the aircraft wreckage and black box are still not found. As a result, the airline had to report to relevant government departments and request assistance. The Thorn Gold Guild also sent a request for assistance to the Guild Alliance. The UED government and a coalition of civil society organizations formed an expert search team and used various instruments to assist, but they could not find the wreckage. At the initial coordinates, there are suspected traces of a battle, but experts believe that no matter how fierce the battle between four unadvanced level 60 superpowers is, it is impossible for the entire aircraft wreckage to disappear, let alone the black box. Eliminate all impossibilities, and whatever is left must be the truth no matter how incredible it is. Therefore, experts believe that the plane did not crash but was hijacked. The entire plane and people were hijacked. Otherwise, please explain why the wreckage is missing and the black box is missing. Go back and wait for the robbers to contact you and demand ransom. If you encounter those crazy people from EOD, they may not even ask for ransom. When the Thorn Gold Guild came to this conclusion, Zhang Jin was completely stunned. The son disappeared and the wife also disappeared? Lin Yarong and Lin Hao returned to the outskirts of the imperial capital, dismounted and changed to Lin Yarong's hoverbike. Then they returned to the city center and found a hot pot restaurant not far from the auction center to eat hot pot. Why eat hot pot? There is no way, at this time, in the entire imperial capital for late-night snacks, only hot pot restaurants can have private rooms. After all the ingredients were put on the table, Lin Yarong closed the door to the room and placed the delicate box containing the prop wormhole on the table, staring at it worriedly. Although the time and space runes of this thing are incomplete, it just can't be put into the storage halo. We can't carry it back to the Magic City and then take it home and put it on the cabinet for decoration, right? Lin Hao said, our house is so big now, so it's appropriate to put some stylish things for decoration. Snapped. Lin Yarong knocked on Lin Hao again. It's okay if we never have guests coming to our house. What if someone comes and sees us? Lin Hao covered his forehead and said, can't we put it in the bedroom? We can't let just any guest come into our bedroom and look at it, right? Lin Yarong said, that's right, you can put it in the bedroom. It's such a private place, but we siblings can go in and out. No, Lin Hao suddenly thought of something and retorted. Not in the bedroom. If my girlfriend or your boyfriend comes in the future, can't they enter the bedroom? I was seen. Finally, what if word spreads? Didn't the auction house's introduction say that there are only the last few props wormholes made by the master's apprentice? Just as Lin Yarong was about to say something, Lin Hao suddenly said, huh? Is there something you want to tell me? Command the puppet. The puppet Wang Siki appeared out of thin air and stood respectfully behind Lin Hao. You just sent me your thoughts in the dark crack. What do you want to say? Lin Hao looked at the puppet Wang Siki and asked. Puppet Wang Siki just bowed slightly, then stepped forward to open the delicate box on the table and took out the prop wormhole inside, which was a little bigger than a palm. Puppet Wang Siki then opened his mouth and swallowed the prop wormhole. Huh? You don't want to eat this thing and then tell me what time and space skills can be awakened? Lin Hao suddenly said excitedly. Lin Yarong said from the side, perhaps some time and space skills will really be awakened. I heard that someone accidentally ate something with runes on it, and then the runes actually stuck to his body, and he will have the special effects of that rune from then on. Lin Hao asked, didn't it mean that runes cannot be carved on humans? There are always some people with weird physiques. Besides, that is just a rumor, there is no official record. Lin Yarong waved her hand and said. The puppet Wang Siki sent his thoughts and asked to be sent back to the darkness. Lin Hao thought to himself that he might need to go back to the darkness and digest it slowly. After all, it was a time and space rune, and no matter how incomplete it was still a top-notch rune. After sending the puppet Wang Siki back to darkness, the remaining box can be put into the storage halo. After solving this small problem, the siblings were about to start eating when the puppet Wang Siki asked to come out again. Lin Hao quickly summoned her and asked, "Is it possible that you have a bad stomach?" "No, how could you have a bad stomach?" Lin Yarong said. "Stop talking and see what she wants to express." The puppet Wang Siki opened his mouth, and the prop wormhole flew out of his mouth. The small one immediately returned to its original size the moment it landed in the palm of his hand. Lin Yarong said, "Oh, I understand, your puppet means that she can save this thing for you." Lin Hao also understood and said a little disappointedly, "I thought she could comprehend runes and awaken special runic abilities." "Don't force things like that. You might as well get her some weapons and equipment with runes. I think she should be able to use them," Lin Yarong said on a whim. "Huh? Why didn't I think of that? Sister, are there any equipment suitable for level 20? Weapons?" Lin Hao asked. "Except for the summoning cloak of Far Journey, I don't have anything I can use at level 20. Everything I can use should be with you." Lin Yarong explored her hands and said. Lin Hao remembered that the extra disconnection and the butcher knife were still in his storage halo, but these two did not have four-dimensional attributes attached, only special effects. But Iron Heart has added attributes, so he took it out immediately and put it on the puppet Wang Siki. When the puppet Wang Siki picked up the disconnection, Lin Hao deliberately opened her status bar and took a look. Sure enough, the physical fitness column increased by 55 points. In other words, while the puppet Wang Siki inherits his own basic attributes, he can also wear equipment and use the attributes of the equipment. Lin Yarong specifically knocked the puppet Wang Siki, and sure enough the damage rebounded. Well, the legendary special effects can also be used. You can equip her with it. Lin Hao took out the Duan Li and the butcher's knife. These two weapons only had special effects but no attributes. Forget it, the legendary special effects are incompatible with myself and even the puppet Wang Siki, so I might as well sell them and give her a suitable one. As for the pig-killing knife, the puppet Wang Siki Cho refused to use it. She summoned the ghost child shaman and thrust the butcher knife into it. The big one at the bottom of the 3 stacks of ghost baby shamans picked up the butcher's knife and laughed, "Quack, quack, quack." It really liked it. Lin Yarong said, "Brother, the ghost baby shaman does not participate in the battle. Although the legendary special effects of the pig-killing knife are powerful, it is useless to hold it." Lin Hao said, "Sister, you don't understand this. Whether it's the puppet Wang Siki or the ghost shaman, as long as they can activate the legendary special effects of weapons and equipment, their gestations or summons can inherit the legendary special effects. Follow me. It's the same, all the damage-increasing legendary special effects on me can be inherited whether they are directly summoned or secondary dependents." This was informed by the thoughts sent by the puppet Wang Siki. Lin Yarong was speechless for a moment. This was too cheating. It is now known that those with natural element wood attributes and above S level may undergo alienation and become druids who can summon animals. The most powerful of those druids are only able to summon a few animals to join the battle. Like my brother, he summons a puppet, and then the puppet summons more than 2,000 undead cockroaches. I have never heard of anyone who can do this. Thinking about it, I was really smart and lucky when I got the Unity Ring. No one is more suitable to use the Unity Ring than my brother. All the summons, including the secondary dependents, share 50% of his damage, which is almost equal to no damage. Those undead cockroaches are all thick-skinned. The skin of level 20 monsters is thicker than that of level 30 monsters who are good at defense. Their defense power can withstand them. Take back the Iron Heart, and then the puppet Wang Siki and the ghost baby shaman returned to the darkness. When I picked up my chopsticks again and prepared to feast, there was a message from the bank. The bank card has received 4.94 billion, and the current balance is 5 billion. What the two siblings could immediately think of was that the body of the Styx doll had been auctioned off. Lin Yarong sent a text message of thanks to Mr. Wang of Coltex Auction House. Mr. Wang replied immediately, saying that if you have good things that you want to auction in the future, remember to contact him as soon as possible, and you will get a good discount on the handling fee. According to what that old Wang said, with a 5% handling fee, the total of the 4 corpses of the Styx dolls would be sold for 5.3 billion, with an average price of 1.3 billion. The value is the same as the prop wormhole. He was hit hard at the auction center before, but now Lin Hao suddenly felt that he could do it again. Lin Yarong said, "The price of consumables and collectibles cannot be compared directly like this. The prop wormhole is priceless when you need it. When you don't use it, you will reject it as a decoration. Stick's doll, a complete corpse, let alone its research value, is worth collecting by collectors just because of the word complete." "Okay. Sister, I ordered 2 hoverbikes 2 days ago, the latest models. Let's go to the auto show to pick up the bikes tomorrow." Previously, Lin Hao placed an order on someone else's official website and paid a deposit. Huh? A new type of suspended motorcycle? Lin Yarong didn't pay much attention to this. The suspended motorcycle in her hand now is just an old second-hand car. She bought it with the money she earned from her first mission when she was a freshman. It was very cheap. Yes, there is a version specially designed for people with superpowers. Its performance is superb, and it is only a little slower than my evil warhorse. Sister, we have money now, and we can no longer treat ourselves as badly as before. Enjoy what you deserve. If you should use something good, use it, otherwise our famous golden goddess, riding a second-hand old-style hover motorcycle will damage your image, you know. Lin Hao said all good things, just wanted to buy it. Lin Yarong thought about it and felt that it was right. Now that she has money, she should treat herself better. Besides, now that I have acquired the skills and eaten up all the advanced creation fruits, I don't have much to spend before reaching level 60. It's time to buy the latest hover motorcycle. Okay, when is the car show? It's already started, but it won't end until tomorrow. Let's go there tomorrow? Okay, let's start eating quickly, I'm already hungry. Sister, I'll give you some spicy pig brains to replenish your taste. Half each. The siblings may have experienced a hunt, running back and forth for thousands of kilometers, and their stomachs felt really hungry. After a hearty meal, go back to the hotel and rest. When she went to bed at night, Lin Yarong was lying on the bed, thinking about the process of tonight's pursuit in her mind. She repeated it 10 or 8 times, and finally fell asleep after making sure that no evidence was left. When she got up the next day, Lin Yarong immediately checked to see if there was any news about the crash. In the age of force technology, the internet is more developed than in the old technology society. Many news no longer need to be manually written, approved and then published. Almost all news is done by AI, so a lot of information can be disseminated in a timely manner. Of course, what the UED government doesn't want the public to know is that AI will make it impossible to search even a single keyword on the entire internet. While AI facilitates people, it also makes it more convenient for the government, and its supervision and control over people is invisible but more powerful. At 9:30 in the morning, Lin Yarong found relevant information. The search and rescue team could not find any plane wreckage. It was suspected that the plane crashed at the wrong location. The Airlines and Trade Union Alliance would form a more professional search team to conduct the search. Seeing this, Lin Yarong was basically relieved. The first rescue search is the best opportunity to unearth all kinds of evidence. If you miss it, and wait until your so-called more professional search team is formed to look for it, all the evidence will almost disappear. A large number of comments from netizens were almost all gloating about the charter plane crash. There is no special reason, it's just that the hatred of rich people in the Force era is more serious than in the old technological society. Nowadays, the entire society is not the law of 28, but the law of 19. 90% of the wealth is in the hands of one adult. With superpowers, breaking this law is hundreds of times more difficult than in the old technological society. After Lin Hao got up, the 2 siblings went out to have breakfast and then went to the auto show in the imperial capital to pick up the car on site. The hoverbike was also a car, although it didn't even have a single wheel. The convention and exhibition center was crowded with people. Lin Hao visited the auto show for the first time since time travel. The scene was full of energy and creativity, the air was filled with the unique smell of new cars, and the beautiful car paint shone coquettishly under the lights. In the bustling exhibition area, you can see rows of neatly aligned new cars. They are either gorgeous and majestic, fashionable and avant-garde, or calm and restrained. Each car exudes its own unique charm. The music on site was sometimes exciting and sometimes melodious, adding a lot of atmosphere to the entire auto show. On the booth, the car models were dressed in fashionable clothes and showed off their proud figures, which complemented the vehicles and attracted a large number of people. In addition, each company's booth has various interactive links, such as smart ride test drives, VR experiences, etc., allowing visitors to have a deeper understanding of the vehicle's performance and driving experience. Crowds of people shuttled through the exhibition hall, their steps brisk and full of anticipation. Some people stopped to admire it and gently touched the car body with their hands, as if they were feeling the exquisite craftsmanship and materials. Others walked around the vehicle and admired its design from all angles. The salespeople enthusiastically introduced the vehicle's performance and features to customers, and their voices and gestures are full of confidence and professionalism. The two siblings came to the booth of the suspended motorcycle. The salesperson would hand out leaflets regardless of whether you were the target customer or not. Then he would grab the person and introduce the speed, acceleration performance, suspension height, controllability, and safety of his product. Wait for the data. Lin Yarong took a fancy to some optional auxiliary equipment and went to the side with a salesperson to make the selection. Lin Hao went to the checkout counter and took out the 5-dimensional code he had reserved online and told the salesman that he was here to pick up the car. After scanning the 5-dimensional code with the sales instrument, he checked the records and quickly said to Lin Hao, "Customer, I'm really sorry. The 2 latest models you ordered have just been picked up. Can you come back in 3 days? A vehicle has been arranged for you." Lin Hao frowned. "That's not right. When I paid online before, I repeatedly confirmed with customer service that the 2 latest models on display today are waiting for me to pick up the bikes. Aren't those 2 hover bikes still here? You tell me that someone took me away?" The salesperson said quickly, "It looks like this. Because these 2 hover motorcycles are special editions for superpowers, and a superpower happened to come to buy them. Our manager knew the superpower and sold them to him. Now he is in the process of handling them. Once the formalities are completed, the car will be taken away." Lin Hao said solemnly, "What do you mean, just a random person with superpowers can jump in the queue? Is your company trustworthy? I didn't pay the deposit? Or is it because I didn't come to pick up the car after the time limit?" The salesperson could only keep saying sorry, hoping that the customer would understand and arrange arrangements as soon as possible. A rough and wild voice came from the side, "Haha, Manager Lan, thank you very much. I originally wanted to order online, but I was too late to place my order, so I had to try my luck here. Fortunately, you are here this year, Director." No, my brother relies on you to take care of him at school. I'm grateful before it's too late," Manager Lan said. Lin Hao turned his head and looked over. A tall and thick guy who looked like a gorilla was standing with the manager here, talking and laughing. No need to guess, this guy must have robbed his hover motorcycle. "You're the manager here, right?" Lin Hao ignored the sales obstruction and went directly to Manager Lan next to him. "Yes, how can I help you?" Manager Lan still treats every customer very politely. "Nothing. I made a reservation online to pick up the car on site today, but when I came here today, I was told that the car had already been picked up," Lin Hao said, a little unhappy. When Manager Lan heard this, he actually came to pick up the car. He thought he would not come so early. Based on past experience, he would only come in the afternoon. The 2 cars on site happened to be requested by my younger brother Senior, who came to the site to pay the full price, so of course I sold them to them. However, this kind of thing happens often and is not a big deal. The most common way to deal with it is to send an extra free maintenance and let those who have booked it go to the 4th Sun store to pick up the car. "Customer, I'm really sorry that you are so late. These 2 cars have been sold to these 2 gentlemen for full price. You can go to any 4 Sun store in our company to pick up the cars with your order." Manager Lan said with a smile that he felt that the way he handled it was very good. "Arrived late? I made a decision in the evening to come and pick up the car today. Do you know what today is? Your exhibition is not over yet, and today is not the past. If I come here at any time during the period, I will not be delayed." Lin Hao disagreed with the manager's statement. "This customer, the fact is that you are a step late. The formalities for these 2 cars have been filled out. It would be great if you could arrive 20 minutes earlier. Unfortunately, there is no if. But don't be discouraged. I personally make the decision. You go to 4th Sun when you pick up your car at the store, you will receive additional free maintenance." Manager Lan still handled it according to the process. Lin Hao said, "I want these 2 cars now. Don't tell me whether you have them or not. The problem is on your side. Don't blame it on me. If you can't give me the car today, then according to the contract, the deposit will be paid. You have to refund 1 and compensate 3. I paid a deposit of 100 million. As soon as Manager Lan heard this, he immediately went to the cashier to check. It was really a deposit of 100 million. Is this person crazy? Why did you give so much deposit? 2 of the latest superpower version hover motorcycles, with a total price of 260 million. Do you want to give a deposit of 100 million? Immediately, Manager Lan asked the salesperson to ask how long it would take if 2 identical ones were sent from the 4th Sun store now. The answer was that it would be delivered tomorrow. This is troublesome, Manager Lan thought to himself. Why is this guy different from what he said during the training? Why do you just stare at him? The gorilla saw that Manager Lan was in trouble, and he also heard clearly that what he bought was what the guy in front of him ordered. Since Manager Lan is giving himself so much respect, he can't just say a word. Brother, please give me some respect. I will pick up these 2 cars today. Don't embarrass Manager Lan. He will personally arrange for 2 cars to be delivered to you in 2 days. There is no need to make things so tense. Who are you? Why should I give you face? Lin Hao asked. My name is Gao Shangba. I'm a freshman at Pojun Academy. Oh, I'm about to be a sophomore. Let's start all over again. I'm ranked 10th on the ranking list of Pojun Academy's freshman year, and I'm an S-class transformed and enhanced superpower. How about it? I'm qualified enough to ask you to give me face. After Gao Shangba, who was nearly 2 meters tall, finished speaking, he raised his hands, raised his head, and looked at Lin Hao through his nostrils. Lin Hao scanned it with a light brain and found that he was level 40 and had not been promoted. S-class transformed and enhanced superpower? You're not going to transform into a gorilla, are you? I'm sorry, you're not qualified enough to ask me to give you face. As I said, you can either give me a car or refund one for 3. There is an SSR behind me, are you afraid of you? Lao Gao, what's the matter? The companion who came with Gao Shangba had completed all the registration procedures and came to meet with the receipts, ready to pick up the car. Gao Shangba said, this little guy booked these 2 suspended motorcycles, now he wants to pick up the motorcycle. He said that if he doesn't give the motorcycle, he will return 1 and pay 3. The guy who was with Gao Shangba had the completely opposite appearance and temperament to Gao Shangba. He was only about 180 centimeters tall, wore a pair of gold-rimmed glasses, and looked elegant. Brother, I'm very sorry. We are in a hurry to use the car, so we bought it with full payment without any discount, so please give me some face. My name is Peng Junhui. I am ranked 3rd on the list of World War II combatants at the Po Military Academy, and I have sulfur monosulfide level telekinesis abilities. Bye. Like Gao Shangba, Peng Junhui reported his name, college, and ability level, and also emphasized that he paid in full without any discounts. Lin Hao said, I'm sorry, I'm still not qualified. I'm still saying that you can either give me the car or return 1 and pay 3 for it. Let me tell you, I gave you a deposit of 100 million, and I didn't choose a discount either. Gao Shangba puffed out his nostrils and gnashed his teeth. He was so disrespectful. He used his brain to scan it and found that he was only level 20 and had not yet advanced. He became even more angry and wanted to take action. Peng Junhui stretched out his hand to stop him, with a gloomy expression on his face, and said coldly, I don't know which college you are a student from, how dare you talk to me like this? But let me tell you a truth, in this world, whoever has the biggest fist is the one who says forget it. Today, we will definitely pick up these 2 cars, but you can only accept to go to the 4th Sun store to pick them up in a few days. You have to give me this face if you don't want to. Lin Hao asked Hehe. What, if I just don't give you this face, what will you do? Boy, if you don't drink the toast, you have to drink the fine wine. Today I guarantee that you will be carried out from here. Gao Shangba clenched his fists, showing signs of taking action. Peng Junhui didn't stop him this time. He had locked onto Lin Hao with his telekinesis and was about to press Lin Hao to the ground and rub him. Hey, Pojun Academy is very domineering. Lin Yarong's voice came from behind Lin Hao. Gao Shangba and Peng Junhui frowned. Is someone trying to make peace? Sister, these 2 bastards from the college said that I can't do it without giving them face, and they promised that I would be carried out from here. Lin Hao immediately ran behind Lin Yarong and complained. Lin Yarong looked at the 2 guys in front of her coldly. Who do you think you are? How dare you ask me to give you face? Gao Shangba was angry. What, you want to stand up for your pretty boy? So what? Lin Yarong raised her right hand, and the golden thunder and lightning collided in her hand. In just a moment, the thunder and lightning rushed out from her hand, entangling Gao Shangba. Holding his palm gently, Gao Shangba was pulled up by the golden thunder and lightning, almost half a meter above the ground. Golden thunder and lightning? Are you? Gao Shangba asked, gritting his teeth and enduring the high-voltage electric shock. Peng Junhui raised his eyes and took Gao Shangba's words. Except for the golden goddess, there is no other woman among young people who has golden thunder and lightning powers. Are you Lin Yarong, the golden goddess? Lin Yarong snorted coldly. You 2 are very arrogant. Last year, you broke the military academy's battle rankings and were beaten to a pulp by me in the individual competition. Do you 2 want to stand up for him? Lin Yarong ducked out of the way and appeared behind Gao Shangba, grabbing him by the back of his neck and smashing him to the ground. Bang! With a sound, Gao Shangba hit the ground, creating a small human-shaped crater, and he fainted. Lin Yarong then turned around and asked, "Are you the manager here? I reserved these 2 cars. Is there no problem if I pick up the cars now? Anyway, this person is already fainted and can't pick up the cars?" Manager Lan quickly took out a handkerchief to wipe his sweat. "No, no problem. The superpowers are fighting, come and watch." Not only were the people around not afraid, but they were all holding up long guns and short cannons to shoot. They were not afraid of serious trouble at all. Even ordinary people were making noises, fearing that they would not be able to fight and would not be able to watch the show. Next to him, Peng Junhui gritted his teeth and finally did not take action. He was stuck at level 40 and had not yet advanced. He was too far behind Lin Yarong in terms of strength. "Lin Yarong, you are powerful, but don't think that no one in our 7-star alliance can cure you. There may or may not be someone in the 7-star alliance who can cure me, but at least you two can't, not even close." Lin Yarong returned to Lin Hao, looked at Peng Junhui sideways and said, "That night, Imperial Capital, Big Dipper Academy Alliance, Pojun Academy, Student Conference Room." Shui Yanner, Secretary of the Student Union Secretariat, took a stack of information and handed it to Song Lufeng, Vice President of the Student Union. After Song Lufeng read it, he became furious and threw the information into the faces of the 2 guys standing next to him. "Look at what you 2 have done. These 2 guys are none other than Gao Shangba and Peng Junhui." Like children who made mistakes, the 2 of them quickly picked up the information and read a page or 2. Gao Shangba quickly said, "Senior brother, we didn't know that guy was Lin Yarong's brother." Peng Junhui also said, "That's right, Lin Yarong pushed her brother out, provoked us to do something, and tempted us to make mistakes. She, Lin Yarong, only appeared on the scene. This was to deliberately slap us in the face of the military academy. That's right, that brother of hers was very hateful. He deliberately removed the word, military, from our military academy and said we were a corrupt academy. I was so angry that I wanted to take action." Gao Shangba thought for a while and then thought of Lin Hao. "You said so he quickly brought it out as an excuse. At any rate, this is because the college is humiliated. How can a student not be angry?" When Peng Junhui saw this, he immediately thought of an excuse. "Well," Lin Yarong said, "last year she beat you to the ground, senior brother, in the college league individual points competition. I couldn't be more angry. Obviously, senior brother, you just lost half a move. I can't bear it. She can't help but slander you, senior brother, so." "Shut up." Song Lufeng was really angry now. "You are being used at gunpoint and you don't even know it. Read on for yourselves. Who introduced you to buy a car that day? Who told you that you knew the manager and could just ignore the order and just pick up the car?" Peng Junhui and Gao Shangba quickly turned to the next few pages to read. A cold sweat began to break out. The previous student president has graduated as a senior and has not designated who will succeed the next president. As usual, the 3 vice presidents will run for election. Song Lufeng has a high reputation in Pojun Academy and is very hopeful to take over the position of student council president. As the saying goes, 1 emperor and 1 courtier. If Song Lufeng takes office, then the junior brothers and sisters taught by the same mentor as him will be the backbone of the student union in the future. Peng Junhui and Gao Shangba are also among them. The 2 people's behavior at the car show during the day was videotaped from beginning to end, and anonymously posted on the student website of the Po Military Academy, and even on the forum of the 7-Star Alliance. The 2 guys were dubbed as bullies who bullied people with hierarchical abilities and destroyed social order. The articles criticizing them were full of words such as being unreasonable, bullying the weak, greedy, domineering and other words. And based on the behavior of the 2 of them, they attacked Song Lufeng, saying that he lost to Lin Yarong at level 45 twice in a row at level 50 last year and held a grudge. Then he arranged for Gao Shangba and Peng Junhui to seek revenge on Lin Yarong's brother, but they were Lin Yarong, who was protecting her younger brother, found out and slapped her in the face on the spot. The students who were promoted to tutor Song Lufeng had extremely problematic academic styles. If he were to serve as the student council president, he would lead Pojun Academy into the abyss. Peng Junhui was the first to read it and said in shock, "Brother, that's not what happened." Gao Shangba also said, "Brother, although we have made mistakes, it is absolutely impossible to seek revenge on other people's families because of the league. The league is a competition, not a life and death feud. We have no reason to seek revenge on other people's families. Revenge. It doesn't matter whether you are like this or not. What is important is that others think you are like this. The wind direction is very bad now. Too many people took videos of what happened during the day and posted them online. Many people said that Lin Yarong came this time. The imperial capital is building momentum for this year's college league, and she will reach the top with an invincible appearance this year. Our Pojun Academy is her first stop to show off her power before the game. Whether this is true or not, why are you two hitting her at gunpoint? You're not strong enough and you still like to walk sideways? The Song dynasty was everywhere, and all his plans for becoming a leader were disrupted. If this situation continues, the position of student council president will no longer be considered, and we must find a way to remedy it. Senior brother, what should we do now? It doesn't matter if we are scolded or made fun of, but senior brother, you must choose the position of student council president. All the senior brothers are looking forward to you taking the position. Peng Junhui and Gao Shangba said at the same time. Song Lufeng glanced at Shui Yan'er beside him and motioned for her to speak. Shui Yan'er nodded and said, I just found out that Lin Yarong came to the imperial capital not to create publicity, but to participate in Coltex's auction last night. There were 4 complete Styx doll corpses in the auction that were handed over by her uncle. Let her handle it. I see, so I made money to buy a new hoverbike. Gao Shangba said as if that was the case. Don't interrupt me. Shui Yan'er glared at Gao Shangba. Gao Shangba shut up immediately. Shui Yan'er continued. Now, her trip to the imperial capital is expected to be over soon, and she may return to the Magic City soon. We must contact her as soon as possible and hire her with a lot of money to build momentum and make the speculation come true. We cannot be the only ones suffering this. If you want to be beaten, let's get beaten together. In the end, whoever is the least injured will be the strongest. As long as she leaves a word and is optimistic about us, then we can regain our advantage. Hiring her with a lot of money to build momentum? Do you really want her to challenge the 7-Star Alliance? How much will it cost? Peng Junhui asked. The other person is a close disciple of the Dean of the Third War College in the Magic City. She is a star that has been created through the efforts of the college. Money may not be able to impress her, Shui Yan'er said. Then how do you hire her to create momentum? It depends on what she needs. As long as we can get it, we'll give it to her. Sometimes, happiness cannot be bought with money. Shui Yan'er's plan was approved by Song Lufeng. If someone on my side was beaten up and left a bad review, then I would ask Lin Yarong to beat up the others as well, and invite more trolls to give even worse reviews. Song Lufeng had already received news that Lin Yarong was suspected of coming out of the Ice Crystal Garden Villa with the Binglin Emperor during the last attack on the imperial capital. It seems that Lin Yarong is already powerful enough to enter the sight of the Binglin Emperor. No one in the entire 7-Star Alliance can enter the Binglin Emperor's sight for the time being. Last year, I lost to Lin Yarong in both home and away games, losing one move both times. This year, Song Lufeng thought that he might not be able to catch a single move. From the video of her knocking down Gao Shangba, it can be roughly seen that Gao Shangba was not without resistance. When he was arrested, he defended with all his strength, but he was still knocked unconscious by one blow. Although the level difference is a problem, Gao Shangba is an enhanced type of superpower. The characteristic of this type of superpower is that he has extremely strong physical fitness. He is the best human shield and fighting warrior. He can often defeat high-level ones with low-level ones. Unfortunately, he was still killed in one blow. Song Lufeng guessed that Lin Yarong must have acquired the skills she needed, completed the matching of skill combinations, and her strength had reached a new level. If it were true, no one below level 60 would be Lin Yarong's opponent. This is a star figure created by the efforts of an academy. This is why Song Lufeng wants to compete for the position of student council president. Because as long as he fights for this position, he can gather a large amount of resources, and his strength will rise to another level, or even 2 levels, in a short period of time. Teach Gao Shangba and Peng Junhui a lesson and tell them to stay calm during this period and not cause trouble. Next, Song Lufeng and Shui Yan'er went to Lin Yarong in person to discuss the matter of building momentum. Lin Hao and Lin Yarong carried hoverbikes and circled around the 4 cities of Weiman, Satellite, Wiking and Weishou in the 4 directions of the southeast, northwest and northwest of the imperial capital. Although the speed is not as fast as the evil warhorse, it is handsome. It is a man's romance. Of course, many girls also like it. The shape has a strong sense of future technology. The moment the engine starts, the roar can immediately focus your attention, and the brain seems to have become a single thread. People are riding on the engine, and the primitive sound can directly stimulate adrenaline. Noise can directly stimulate adrenaline secretion. Adrenaline can make the heartbeat faster, make breathing faster, produce more energy, and make people excited. In a state of excitement, people will secrete dopamine, a substance that makes people feel happy. Lin Hao discovered that this innermost happiness, without superficial emotions, actually did not lead to forced calmness. How long has it been since you woke up to forced calmness for no reason? How long has it been since you felt any emotional fluctuations? The last time was when Wang Siki died. He was angry for a moment and was not forced to calm down. Then, there was no more. Regardless of whether it is happiness, anger, worry, thought, sadness, fear, or shock, as long as the emotional fluctuation reaches a certain value, forced calmness will come, and then the whole person will enter the true sage mode. I returned to the imperial city after playing for 4 days. Wherever I went, I was the one with the highest return rate. These 260 million are not in vain. Back at the Coltex Hotel in the imperial capital, according to what Lin Yarong said, the temple will send Lin Hao's temporary login ID today. When the high priest sent someone to deliver the creation fruit before, Lin Yarong said that she hoped to help her brother apply for a temporary login ID so that she could take her brother to the small secret realm for training before enrolling. The high priest's envoy agreed immediately. This was an extremely small matter, not even a trivial matter. He said that if he went back and explained it, the temporary ID would be delivered to him in 3 days. Ding dong, after going back to the hotel and waiting for a long time, after taking a nap, someone finally came. Lin Yarong said, "The people from the temple should have sent the ID. Go and open the door." Lin Hao rushed to open the door and greeted his temporary ID with joy. "Hello, is Miss Lin Yarong staying here?" "Yes." Lin Hao saw a man and a woman at the door. They were so young. Didn't it mean that most of the people in the temple were middle-aged greasy uncles or middle-aged aunts? After a man and a woman were confirmed, they walked straight in. Lin Hao thought it was someone from the temple and did not stop them, so he closed the door. Lin Yarong, who was sitting on the sofa in the living room, saw the 2 people coming in. Her eyes immediately became sharp and she said coldly, "Why is it you? What are you doing here? Want to stand up for the 2 noodles in your college?" Lin Hao, who followed in, thought to himself, are these 2 people not from the temple? He quickly sat down next to the old sister and asked, "Sister, who are these 2? Song Lufeng, the vice president of the Pojun Academy Student Union, was the top player in the Pojun Academy last year, but was beaten to a pulp by me in the league," Lin Yarong said rudely. "Oh, I'm defeated." Lin Hao's first reaction was just this word. Song Lufeng sat down with Shui Yanner as if they were familiar with each other, and then said with a smile, "It is an honor for me that the goddess of golden light remembers me. You say this with your mouth, but you are cursing in your heart. I lost 2 games by 1 move, but you go around saying that you will beat me to pieces. Are you polite?" However, no matter how dissatisfied I was, no matter how I scolded him, I always had a smile on my face, and it was a smile that was both superficial and superficial. "Stop being polite. What are you doing here?" Lin Yarong asked. Song Lufeng said, "Firstly, I want to apologize to my 2 junior brothers in the academy, and secondly, I want to ask Miss Lin for a favor." Lin Yarong said, "I accept the apology, and I am not a stingy person. But why should I help you?" Shui Yanner took out a folder from the storage halo, handed it to Lin Yarong, and said, "Ms. Lin, if there is anything in this list that you like, please tell me directly. We offer it with both hands as a favor to you. Remuneration." Lin Yarong took the folder and opened it to read. Lin Hao also came over to read it together. The entire list is 6 pages long, and there are indeed a lot of good things on it. Although many of them are not high level, the legendary special effects are very powerful. Lin Yarong couldn't use most of them herself, but Lin Hao could. Lin Yarong flipped through it and selected a belt in her mind, but she didn't say it out loud. Instead, she gave the list to Lin Hao to look at slowly, and she said to Song Lufeng, "Everything is not very good. I'm afraid it's hard for me to help. It's up to you." Song Lufeng thought to himself that this list has gathered the power of his faction, and all the things that can be traded are here, as things to hire Lin Yarong. Although the level is not high, almost all of them are level 40 to 50 equipment. But the legendary special effects have been carefully selected, so there is no reason to look down on them. Shui Yanner was thinking, did this woman guess something? She wasn't there that night when I came to see her, and then she couldn't find anyone for 4 days. Today, the instructor just promised to take out the legendary gem as a gift for her, and she was here. Is it such a coincidence? Song Lufeng and Shui Yanner looked at each other, and then said, "Miss Lin, if the things on the list are not discernible, what about this gem?" Shui Yanner took out a delicate small box from the storage halo. After opening it, there was a white gemstone with a crown rune similar to that formed by lightning. Lin Yarong was immediately moved when she saw it. This was a legendary gem that grew with levels. Lin Hao was also attracted by the white light of the legendary gem. He looked over and saw that it was indeed dazzling. The two siblings identified the legendary gem together. Open black lens bracket lightning crown close black lens bracket legendary gem hitting an enemy with thunder power has a 15% chance to grant a lightning crest, dealing 1250%, plus 25.0%, level. Weapon damage as lightning damage to nearby enemies every second for 3 seconds. While under the effect of the lightning crown, movement speed is increased by 25%. The wearer needs to be level 25 or above to take effect. Lin Hao felt like shit in his heart. Are they so willing to spend money? Lin Yarong picked up the lightning crown and looked at it carefully, and then asked, "Are you willing to give this to me? From your point of view, this is an advantage to the enemy. My strength will rise to the next level. Your college league gives up, yet?" Shui Yan'er said, "Ms. Lin, the restriction of this legendary gem is too high. Its prerequisite is the power of lightning. Non-SSR level lightning abilities cannot take effect on legendary effects. Even if we want to exchange it for other legendary gems, it is because the limit is too high, so that no one can use it. But Miss Lin has just met the conditions for using it. Rather than letting it eat dust in the warehouse, it is better to bring it to Miss Lin." Lin Yarong can also feel that this lightning crown is indeed very demanding. Unlike other legendary gems, it can be effective if it is inlaid with equipment and the attributes match. It's almost like it's tailor-made for you. In this case, then help them and let me pick out what they need on the list. Mr. Song, I don't know what kind of help you want me to do when you come here with such a heavy gift. As long as it doesn't violate my principles, I will help you in any way I can. Ms. Lin, I hope you will start the journey of building momentum for the College League individual points competition, starting from the 7-Star Alliance and Pojun Academy. Song Lufeng and Shui Yan'er breathed a sigh of relief when they saw Lin Yarong agreed. Lin Yarong, Song Lufeng and Shui Yan'er were discussing the details of building momentum. Lin Hao carefully studied what equipment or props in the list were suitable for him. Now that I have agreed, I must order more things. When the old lady gave her the list just now, she pointed at one of the belts and looked at its attributes. Open black lens bracket saffron waist wrap close black lens bracket quality. Legend level, 50. Armor, 179 physical fitness plus 170 plus 30 points of all elemental resistance. Level requirement reduced by 2 levels. The duration of controlled restriction effects is reduced by 20%. Legendary special effect. Within the suppression barrier, the damage is increased by 4%. Each additional enemy will have a layer of effect, up to a maximum of 5 layers. The attributes of this belt are not very powerful and are quite satisfactory, but reducing the duration of being controlled by 20% is its biggest highlight. But Lin Hao knew that what the elder sister liked was its legendary special effects. One of the elder sister's passive skills, Unstoppable, is a range suppression passive skill. Within a 30-meter radius centered on herself, the damage to all enemies is increased by 20%, and the damage received from enemies is reduced by 20%. This is my core passive skill. When I advance to level 40, I awaken for the second time and become an SSR level superpower. It was with this passive skill that I was able to kill everyone in the college league last year. If you wear the belt just now, the damage will be increased by at least 4% and at most 20%. I heard that in addition to the individual competition this year, I will also lead the team to participate in the team competition. This is the preparation for the team competition. The elder sister said that they are equal to the enemy, and indeed she is right. This is helping the elder sister to improve her strength. She already had the strength to win the championship, but now she is becoming more and more stable. Don't worry about me, I'll see what you can use. Lin Hao turned around and found only 2 pieces of equipment that suited him better. The first piece, Hell Skull, type, off-hand shield. Quality, legend requirements, level 31 armor, 359. Strength plus 128 physical fitness plus 163 plus 6% block damage reduction. Plus 5% block damage reduction. Damage received from elite monsters is reduced by 4%. Legendary effect. When using two-handed weapons, the damage caused is increased by 10%. Your own level cannot be used temporarily, but you can put it in the built-in equipment slot. Although the attributes cannot be used, the legendary special effects can be activated. This shield will be included in the list just because the only people who can use it are those warriors with overwhelming strength in the strengthening system. Otherwise, who can hold a two-handed weapon in one hand and a shield in the other? This shield is not a small shield, but when I use it just right, the damage of servants and secondary retinues can be increased by 10%. Open black lens bracket Elic eyes close black lens bracket type. Talisman quality. Legend requirements. Level 35. Intelligence plus 132 critical hit damage increased by 4%. Critical hit damage increased by 31%. Damage taken from ranged attacks reduced by 25.5%. Damage taken from ranged attacks reduced by 3.5%. Legendary effect. Shared vision of summons. This legendary special effect was useless to Lin Hao. His servants and dependents could have shared the field of vision with him. But its double damage reduction attribute is awesome. That's it for these two items. At level 35, as long as you advance to the next level, you can just go out into the wild. Isn't it just a matter of minutes? The damage reduction properties of this necklace can be used up to level 60 at least. When Lin Hao selected the equipment, Lin Yarong also discussed the details with Song Lufeng. Song Lufeng was very happy and asked Shui Yanner to deliver the two pieces of equipment selected by Lin Hao and the belt selected by Lin Yarong that night. This is the full payment, and Lin Yarong will start work tomorrow. She herself also wanted to start work early, so that she could finish the work in 2 or 3 days and return to the Magic City. I just paid the final payment for the 2 new villas I bought, and I still have to go back to renovate the large villa next to the college. I will have a barbecue with my brother in the villa on the island in the evening. Lin Hao's temporary ID was sent over by the temple messenger after Song Lufeng and Shui Yanner left. You can directly swipe your card into any branch hall and use it. After you enroll in the university, it will be merged with the university's ID card. The temporary ID contains 2,000 points given by the Binglin Emperor. Theoretically, the number on this temporary ID will be Lin Hao's student ID number when he enrolls in the future. In the evening, the two siblings agreed that Lin Yarong would go to start the work, which would be completed in about 3 hours, while Lin Hao would go to the temple branch of the 7-Star Alliance to create a small secret realm by himself. For those who can single pass the big secret realms of the same level, it is not a problem to attack the small secret realms. Lin Yarong is very confident that she can do it by herself. In the evening, the two siblings went out to eat hot pot again. After eating and drinking, they had a good sleep so that they would have strength tomorrow. Early the next morning the siblings went out together and separated in the 7-Star Alliance area. Lin Hao went to the branch hall of the temple, and Lin Yarong went to play in the gym. Although the summer vacation has begun, the student unions of universities will generally continue to operate, because many students will stay in school for training, and many people want to take on more tasks during the holidays and make money and earn points. These require the student union to maintain order. The student union of a university is almost the representative of the strongest fighting group in the university. If the student union is not strong, it will not be able to control so many students. Lin Yarong followed what was discussed last night and came to ask the student union to kick him out. 7 academies, Tanlang, Jumin, Lucan, Wenk, Lianzhen, Wuku, and Pojun, unite to form the Big Dipper Academy Alliance. Among them, Lucan and Wenk are liberal arts schools, and Lin Yarong just comes to communicate and do some business with each other. Lianzhen is a women's college, and Lin Yarong has no intention of embarrassing them. The remaining Tanlang, Jumin, Wuku, and Pojun were beaten one by one. In the 3 academies of Tanlang, Jumin and Wuku, Song Lufeng had already gone to do his work, while Lin Yarong was just there for a formality. The focus of this trip was to beat up the other 2 vice student presidents of the military academy. Lin Hao rode his big motorcycle to the temple branch of the 7-Star Alliance and looked at the huge building in front of him. It was built by combining styles from all over the world. It was grand and solemn. It is said that because the first-generation high priest believed that the Nephilim obelisk belonged to all mankind, the style of the temple could not be unique to a single region, but must be a collection of great styles from all over the world, representing the unity of all mankind. But having said that, the basic theme of this style is Greece plus Egypt plus Persia plus Asan plus China, and the others have been excluded. The reason is that when the old ones came, those who did not survive were because they were abandoned by God. For example, the styles in the Neon district were the first to be abandoned by God, so they were not qualified to include the styles in the temple. Each branch hall is a shrunken temple. You can enter by swiping your ID card at the gate. There are rooms inside, either for single use or for groups. You can use the room by swiping your card to pay points on the self-service system. After entering, you can come into contact with the power of the Nephilim obelisk and enter the strange space of the Nephilim obelisk. Now is the holiday period, so there are not many people using it, so there is no need to queue up to make a reservation. Coming to this strange space again, Lin Hao had a warm feeling and thought of the martial arts test. I don't know where Li Yunqi is now, maybe she is training in secret. When one was fat and the other was thin, they were attacked by alien cockroaches in the hospital. One was disabled and the other was eaten. Wang Siki became his own puppet. There was a sigh, things in the world are unpredictable. After calming down, he pressed his hand on the projection of the Nephilim obelisk to activate the Nephilim obelisk. Choose, little secret realm. With a flash of light, Lin Hao was transported into the small secret realm and started the challenge. Command the bones. Command the puppet. After entering the small secret realm, Lin Hao did not immediately rush out to kill monsters, but instead summoned his servants and dependents. The skeletons emerged from the ground one by one, with soul fire flickering in their empty eyes. The puppet Wang Siki condensed out of thin air, and then released the ghost shaman and more than 2,000 undead cockroaches. The ghost shaman summoned 10 more ghost warriors and 3 zombie dogs. Lin Hao looked at the undead creatures in front of him. Although he was still far from an army, he believed that as his level increased, he would be able to summon an undead army in the future. Go and kill all the monsters in this little secret realm. Don't leave their bodies behind. Eat as much as you want. With an order, 27 skeletons brandished various weapons and rushed out immediately. They met the first monster not far away. As soon as they rushed up, the monster didn't even have a chance to resist, and was killed by the skeletons. After chopping them into pieces, a swarm of swarms randomly chose a direction and rushed over. They chopped down anything they saw moving. Even if the branches were blown by the wind, they had to chop them down. Then 3 zombie dogs carried 10 ghost warriors and rushed out. Wow wow wow. The ghost warriors and zombie dogs now have the legendary special effects of pig-killing knives, and the damage has been increased by 30%. They are useless against ordinary monsters. When it needs to self-destruct, the zombie dog pounces and bites the monster's feet to impede its movement. The ghost warriors surround it and stab it, killing 3 monsters in one go. Finally, 2,000 undead cockroaches set off. Although the undead cockroaches are not big, when 2,000 of them move together, the scene is still very shocking. Under the influence of extremely enthusiastic passive skills, these guys move very fast, like locusts passing through the border, and even monsters and corpses are eaten. A clean one. Wang Siki, you collect the essence of corpses along the way. I can feel that there is not much essence stored in your body. Lin Hao gave the order to the puppet Wang Siki. The puppet Wang Siki just nodded and followed the immortal cockroach out. The ghost shaman also ran out with a "Wah" sound. Among the 3 stacked arhats, the bottom one held the butcher knife given by Lin Hao, and the whole momentum became different. Ever since the skeletons ran out, the progress bar of the small secret realm displayed on Lin Hao's head has been growing continuously. As the undead cockroaches attack, the progress bar increases faster and faster. It's only been more than 1 minute, and the progress bar is already 99%. Lin Hao ordered that all undead units should be killed continuously, but the guarding boss was left unkilled. The small secret realm is different from the big secret realm. Even if the progress bar of the small secret realm is full and the gatekeeper boss appears, the remaining monsters will not disappear. They will still exist. They will not disappear until the gatekeeper boss dies. In the great secret realm, once the progress bar is full, all monsters will disappear immediately, and then the guard boss will appear. The progress bar reached 100% in just a blink of an eye, and Lin Hao set off to find the guardian boss. Evil War Horse. I rode on the evil spirit horse and turned around 2 or 3 times before I found the gatekeeper boss. I don't know if this guy was hiding from the undead cockroach, but he squatted in a corner and refused to come out. Bone armor. Steel skin. Give yourself defensive skills first. This must be a habit. No matter how weak the enemy is, unless it is a sneak attack, defense must be activated first in a head-on battle. Sword of Heavenly Punishment. Lin Hao jumped up from the back of the evil spirit horse and smashed it down a few meters in front of the boss with the force of thunder. Bang! With a sound, half of the incinerator in his hand sank into the ground, and he knelt on the ground. A shockwave spread, and the boss was shocked back several steps, and at least 1/3 of his health was lost. Then Lin Hao wanted to swing the sledgehammer and knock the boss's head off. However, when I pulled the incinerator out of the ground, because the hammer head of the incinerator was relatively large, a lot of mud was pulled out at once. I almost splashed my eyes, and the hammerhead was hollowed out. The guarding boss wanted to take the opportunity to kick Lin Hao, but Lin Hao reacted immediately, raised his shield to protect himself, and at the same time used the skill shield to hit hard. The shield collided with boss's feet, and, bang, knocked boss's feet away, causing his whole body to lose balance and almost fall down. The grasp of the dead. Lin Hao summoned the hands of the dead, and suddenly several pairs of hands of the dead stretched out from the ground, as if pulling the boss's head that almost hit the ground, pulled it to the ground, and then pressed its head together. Roar! The boss roared and tried to break free from the dead man's hand. But it was a pity that Lin Hao came to it and hit it on the head with a hammer, causing it to blossom immediately. The previous sword of punishment plus shield slam plus grasp of the dead had almost killed the boss. It was just its death struggle. Even if Lin Hao didn't swing the hammer, the boss would be poisoned by the plague of grasp of the dead. Injuries slowly kill with poison. The hammer just wanted to see blood because it had been so long since the incinerator was bought. This is like a soldier who has never been on the battlefield. He only has embroidered legs and is not a real soldier at all. Once the guardian boss dies, the small secret realm will be cleared and all monsters will disappear. After the boss died, a blood-colored magic circle appeared under the body, emitting a strange blood light. The entire boss body was swallowed up by the blood light, and then disappeared, leaving only a ball of light. Seeing the light group, Lin Hao's mouth showed a smile. Just for this thing. After getting the light group, Lin Hao immediately called out the plug-in dialog box. Gifts from Nephilim, you can choose rewards from them. Reward 1. Obtain an ancient legendary equipment. Reward 2. Absorb its energy and obtain information on the evolution of the power of death. Reward 2. No need to hesitate this time, just reward 2 directly. This time it is to complete the progress and get the information on evolution. Reward 2 has been selected, now being swallowed. Evolution cracking process 40%. It's 40%, very good. I only need to play 3 more times to complete the crack. I can't wait to advance to the next level. Say goodbye to the level 20 rookie and move towards level 40. Excited, Lin Hao summoned all the undead units back, then put them all away and exited the small secret realm. Originally, he thought he would appear in a strange space after exiting the small secret realm, but Lin Hao discovered that the place he returned to was actually in the temple's room. Congratulations on clearing the level 20 secret realm, it took 4 minutes and 10 seconds. An AI voice sounded, and the AI screen was projected out of thin air in front of Lin Hao's eyes. Although this screen is projected out of thin air, it can be operated by touchscreen. After some inquiries, Lin Hao found out that every time he finished a trial, he would return to the room and the results would be displayed. If you want to continue to start the next round of small secret realm trials, you need to pay 10 points to the AI here. The room here is actually part of the strange space, but the Nephilim obelisk and the AI are set up like this. Will the Nephilim obelisk cooperate with AI? Can it decorate the strange space so modernly? Is that thing alive or dead? Lin Hao couldn't help but become suspicious.